Red Taylor Ford, your family-owned and operated hometown dealer right here in Corning for over 45 years now. Any of your automotive needs, go by and see them, whether it's sales, maybe new or used, or parts or service. They've got you taken care of. You can see them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or Saturday, 7 to noon. A lot of friendly faces there, like David and Brent Taylor, Jim Clifton. Or you can call those fine folks at 870-857-3516. Find them on Facebook. Find them online, www.redtaylorford.com. Proud sponsors of KBKG More Music 93.5 FM and of the Corning Bobcats. KBKG More Music 93.5 FM. Corning's hometown station. That's what you're listening to right now, and we appreciate you for tuning in. Hey guys, if you want to tune in every Friday night during football season, we'll have all the Corning Bobcat football games live on your radio waves right here. Also select basketball games, baseball, and softball games. That's right here, More Music 93.5. Also, we want to say thank you to Jim Atkins, owner-operator at KBKG, for all he does and for allowing us to do this radio show this morning, and Amanda Sutphin for all of her help, and Rob Barnett for all he does as well. Again, KBKG, More Music 93.5, Corning's hometown station. Go Cats, go. You're listening to Good Morning Corning, our new radio station here in our hometown of Corning, Arkansas, hosted by myself, Andy Earls, and co-hosted by Bart White and Mark Hufford, right here on KBKG, More Music 93.5. Look ahead to more of these radio shows, and your current show will be back on very shortly. Thanks for tuning in.
Good morning, Corning!
And welcome to episode number 3. We're live on location right here at KBKG. More Music, 93.5. The headquarters here, your hometown dealer, or your hometown radio station here in Corning. On the south end of 2nd Street, I guess, intersection here at Bryan. We can see the railroad tracks from here. A big open field here. The kids can come out and play a little football maybe. Or maybe we get a little.
When it's mowed.
Or maybe we can get a little alumni game going.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm out. I'll coach. Hey, we're excited. Andy Earls here, your co-host. I got the always amazing Bart Watt and the always amazing Mark Hufford. They're going to carry this program for us today because I'm tired. I'm wore out. I'll probably be snoring here in just a minute.
Me and you both, buddy.
There you go. Hey, if you're watching, though, if you're tuning in with us, share that feed for us. Tag some people if you can. We're excited, very, very excited. Maybe too excited. We may be too loud, actually. I'm going to turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, we're kind of loud. I'm ready for tonight.
You ready?
Yes.
You're antsy. Your feet are just shaking
I'm ready,
over here.
Man. I'm ready. I missed last week.
Is that the feeling in your gut, or is that maybe constipation? Or what?
No.
Okay.
No problem.
You don't have a squint going on yet.
Another reason we're excited is because we have a special guest here with us today. Legendary, yes. Mr. I won't call him Fred Martin. I'll call him Mr. Fred Martin. Fred, it's good to have you along here, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to be here.
Awesome. We appreciate you jumping on board with us. We really, really do. I'm going to let you kind of intro here. I'm going to let you kind of, for the people that don't know you, obviously a lot of people here in Corning are going to know you, but for those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Well, I was on the radio for about 60 years.
Whew.
Here
Man, how old is he?
But not
63.
all that long. Not all that long here on the KG 93 because they only came on the air in 1983. But I went to work for Bob and Euless Cochran back in 1961. So, and I've been in Corning most of that time. I managed a station for them at Prescott, Arkansas, at which time I had the opportunity to follow the Curly Wolves at that time. But I came back to Corning in 1966, and I've been here ever since, followed with a radio station, live broadcast. We couldn't always have a live broadcast because we were a daytime station.
And nighttime games.
Nighttime games, daytime station, so we recorded and played it back the next day. I retired a few years ago from the Clay County Courier, and here I am to tell you you're doing a great job in building enthusiasm for the Bobcats.
Well, we
That's
appreciate
great.
that.
Yes, sir. We
Th-
do.
Thank
and
you.
We enjoy it.
We really do. We really enjoy it, especially when you got knuckleheads like these two here beside me. They
Yeah.
keep it fun
Yep.
for sure. And I feel like some days I'm babysitting, some days it's a three-ring circus. I don't know what's going on. So, but
That's how we feel about you, Andy.
Yeah, no
Takes
respect.
two of us to babysit you.
Mr. Martin, I got to know. So you told us a little bit about the past there, and I know you said you retired a few years ago from the Courier. What are you doing these days? What's retirement like
Oh.
for you?
It's busy. There's always something to do, always somebody to take somewhere or get called on for this or that. So it's not a boring life.
Are you busier than you were before you
Oh,
retired?
no.
Okay.
No. I kind of pace myself. When you get into a new decade, you have to pace yourself.
Is this the earliest you've been up in a while?
Oh, no.
He's probably usually, he's usually at McDonald's right now.
He
aren't
looked
Oh, yeah.
cranky this morning
Yeah.
when he came. No, I'm kidding.
No, he's
We-
usually at McDonald's right now.
We ride bicycles every morning to McDonald's.
Wow. That's impressive. We should have rode bikes here.
I got mine under the carport.
Guys, we got to meet up next week and ride bikes here in honor of Mr. Fred Martin.
Next week's a home game. We're not doing the.
Are you sure? No, it's a away game.
It's a away game.
It's a away game. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it? Okay.
Fred, you gave us a great idea. So we're going to meet
do
up
that.
about a block over. We're going to ride our bikes.
Hey, on the route, when I do ride my bike, I come right by here twice. So it ain't no big deal.
Don't
for
lie
me.
to the public. This
I'm
is
not
live
lying.
right now. You don't
Dude,
ride
I
a
used to ride
bike.
my bike to Dexter.
I bet Fred Martin.
You remember that ad that y'all put in the paper? Me and Shane Mansker rode to Dexter
I
on our
remember
bikes?
that.
Ah,
Yes, I do.
boom.
Did somebody follow him though and actually get foot? I think they probably had bikes in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
Got about
The old thumb out.
No, but I'll tell you one thing. The last time I wish I had because we always rode a few miles every day before we led up to that. The last year we did, I never even rode my bike until I jumped on it.
So you jumped on it. Then you were really hurting it. Did you
No.
stretch before that?
No. I made it. We rode from Dexter home that time. I made it to the McDougal store. My legs were cramped up so bad I couldn't even walk. So I had to call my wife and have her come get me. I was disappointed.
I mean, the bravery to even mention that story. It's pretty impressive. All right, enough about us, Fred. We got a
Sorry,
special
Fred.
guest here, so let's continue on there if we can.
Fred, you mentioned that you worked for Bob Cochran. Y'all did a lot for Corning Sports. Did y'all used to record the games on cassette and play them back on Saturdays and interview coaches and stuff like that?
Interview the coaches or
Yeah.
no, usually the coaches would come down here to the studio. But the football games we recorded on reel-to-reel to start with back in 1961.
They didn't have cassettes back then,
No,
Andy.
did not. Did not. But the coaches would come down here and do their program recorded, nothing live.
Yeah.
At their convenience, they would come down here and Bob would interview them, both the junior high and senior high coaches.
So I'm curious. Did you get volunteered for that, or did you kind of take over that? Did you
No,
purposely?
We worked together on it. We had sponsors, just as you have sponsors on your broadcast. But we would enjoy talking to the coaches and try to get an insight on things. But then we started the Bobcat Review. You're probably familiar with
I've
that.
heard of that.
Well, you probably were interviewed.
Okay.
Yeah. We started that in the mid-'60s. And at the time, I would go out to the dressing room in the coach's office and talk to the one player each week, each day. So I was out there 3 days a week, and then the coaches would come down here for junior high and senior high. So it was interesting, very interesting to talk to all the players and try to get an insight on how they felt about Bobcat football.
Mr. Martin, I've got a question for you. It sounds like an interesting question because Andy made this up, so I got to know myself now.
Hey, you got it.
Who was the football prophet?
Yeah.
And tell folks what the football prophet would do.
The football prophet was James Leonard of Leonard's Food Center out there.
Yeah.
Started out Leonard's Grocery. He would come down here, and we would go into the studio, and he would have a script, and it was something that he would read, and he drew that name of the football prophet. A lot of people followed him, and he would read about all the colleges and make a prediction on them. And then, of course, he would end up with the Corning Bobcats and tell them what he thought, and he was generally right.
So he was right most of the time?
No, most of the time. Oh, yes.
Would he ever pick against Corning?
You know, I don't remember. Surely not.
Surely he wouldn't go that far.
No.
Surely he wouldn't have gone that far.
No,
Back then they
I
were
wouldn't
dominant
think
too. Surely he would not
That's
have.
right.
That's interesting. Today he would be like, what do you call that? He would be trending. He would be like a Twitter superstar.
Yeah.
Whatever the kids. I don't know what the verbiage I'm
I don't
looking
even
for.
have Twitter. I don't even know what you're talking about.
There you go, bingo. He'd be one of those for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm curious. So you've been around this Corning High School program since '66. Is that what you said?
Well, actually, 61 when I started, but I moved away for 3 years.
Prescott, and
then came back up here in 66.
Okay, so you've seen a lot of people come and go.
Oh, yes.
In the not just the football department, but the athletic department. I'm curious. Every week we try to mention something that very few people do, and that's the game day volunteers. And the people I'm meaning is like the chain gang, Ronnie Jones, Gary Arnold, all those guys.
Yeah.
The PA guys like Mr. Rich Martin. The managers down there that are helping out, Calvin Burkhart, people like that. Who were some of those people back in the day? Can you throw out some names of chain gangs and PA guys and things of that nature back in the day?
Okay. When I first started with the Bobcats, we were at Sprague Field.
Mm-hmm.
Sprague Field is where the Huddle Plaza is now located. And Sprague Field had a very small press box. And Junior Pillow was the announcer. And after Junior Pillow, I think...
Did Junior go by J.A.?
No.
Okay.
Junior.
Okay. I had read that somewhere and I didn't know.
Well,
okay.
That possibly was his name, but people didn't know that.
Gotcha. He's always Junior. Gotcha.
He's always Junior. And then I suppose after him, it might have been, actually, there haven't been a lot of them. Louis Walls came after Junior Pillow, and my son Rich is out there now doing it.
Yeah, Rich has been there, 25, 26, I don't know, maybe longer than that. A long time. I know when I was playing, he was definitely.
He has been there a long time.
He's got a voice for it too, man. He helps cut. He does. He helps cut some of our ads, and his sounds so much better than mine. Mine are kind of blah, and his are like, yeah. I don't know. He has a voice for it. Did you ever attempt to do anything like that?
Oh yes. I know Rich worked here at this station for a while. Then he went to work at Hope, KXAR in Hope.
Yeah.
And then he joined the Air Force after that.
Y'all both have great radio voices. No doubt about that.
Thank you.
Ask him. He may know about that other field we was talking about.
Well, actually, next week it will be a great time to talk about it. We've been trying to document. I ask all these questions because I like to document this stuff.
Sure.
One day I'd like to make a big book of Corning Bobcat football history if I could. I think that's years down the road. But we've been trying to document the different stadiums that or venues, whatever you want to call it, fields that they have played at over the time. And I had heard some stories that there was one. It was called Hobson Stadium. And I've heard one of Hobson Field. We heard that there was one out by the, I guess it would be east of town, out past the railroad tracks there on the field.
Right. I think that was Pringle Field.
Yeah, and Pringle was baseball, I
heard
believe,
that.
only, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong on that. But
I don't know.
Okay. So your knowledge before Sprague, and not Sprague Field, but Sprague Field, your knowledge before that, you don't have anything?
No, it's just what I've picked up from people who have said, yeah, they went to games at Pringle Field, and someone said there used to be one right here behind the radio station.
We heard that.
We used to play here a lot, but there wasn't a field there.
Well,
I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, somebody was mentioning that the last time we interviewed someone, and then I got a phone call after, and they said, yeah, there actually used to be a legit field here, but then they upgraded. It was either on this side or it might have been on this side before these houses were here, but that's interesting. I love that history, and football for Corning started in 1910, and we know Hobson Stadium was the stadium, and we just don't know the location. But we'll eventually, I think
Somebody will know.
Somebody will eventually figure it out. We'll stumble upon the right person, the right article or something. And that's the thing. These articles, the public library's been very nice to us. We go down there, and anytime I get any free time, they got the old microfilm or whatever, and and we pull it up and look at these old archives, and sometimes we catch a hint here or there. So, but yeah, what is this?
Cough drops.
Cough drops. Okay, I got you.
Okay. I'm on the right sheet.
You don't even know where you're at.
No, I don't.
We want to know. Obviously, you've had a long history here of not just covering the Bobcats, but witness. Witness
that question
the
yet.
Bobcats already did.
Okay.
We want to know and hear your stories of the Corning-Piggott rivalry. Obviously, that goes way, way back. We want to hear
does.
those stories.
Oh, yes. Goes back. That's very difficult to talk about some of them because Piggott was on top at that time.
Yeah.
But I think at one time Piggott had two players who eventually went to the University of Arkansas to play for the Razorbacks. And it wasn't a very pretty game as far as we were concerned. But I have to remember Thanksgiving Day, the first year that Bobcat Field at the high school was in operation. They'd already closed down Sprague Field and moved out there. I think that was 1968. And we had a Thanksgiving afternoon football game, so therefore we broadcast that. Since we were a daytime station here, we were able to broadcast it, and Bob Cochran did the play-by-play, and I think the score was something like 32-6. Corning won that game, although Piggott had been listed as one of the top players and teams in the state, probably listed in the top 5.
Wow.
But there was not much of a game.
Down a few times when they were.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned a couple of kids from Piggott going to you. Was one of the last name Adams?
Yes.
He just got inducted into the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame just a few years ago.
Yeah.
I was there with Coach Campbell, and I remember them talking about him. And Jerry Jones actually had was there. His son was there, son or grandson, anyways, was there, and he knew Adams really well. I'm like, man, that's kind of neat that Jerry Jones knows a guy from Northeast Arkansas. I know Jerry obviously went, and I think it was 63, 64, whatever years those were. And that's kind of cool, though, little old Clay County, Arkansas, and we had somebody that knew. So,
well, we also had someone play for the University of Arkansas that graduated here, Mr. Black, a Black Lumber Company. I think it was 1929 after he graduated. He went to the University of Arkansas and was a Razorback.
Wow. That's awesome.
Played for the ball team there. Yeah.
I'm writing that down. I did not know that. That's interesting. I'm going to go start digging up some
into
archives of the University of Arkansas now. I never knew that. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you probably wouldn't know position and stuff. You played at Corning, but that
No, I don't.
Be interesting. I'm definitely going to dig that one up.
Mr. Martin, tell us about Kenny Huffman and any memories from that time frame.
Oh, Huffman was quite versatile. He was very good. I don't remember a whole lot about, but he was very versatile. He jumped right in there, had a very good attitude, and that means a whole lot.
Yeah,
to have an attitude, but he was very good. I admired him and his older brother, younger brother, and one sister. Matter of fact, they lived right behind the radio station. So it was quite often that I would see him when he would come up here, and as a small child, come up and buy a soda pop out of the front. But when it came to football or baseball, well, he was top notch.
Was he better than Andy Earls? Is what I
Without a doubt. That's an easy call. I didn't even watch him play, and I can tell you that. That was an easy call.
Wasn't you an All-American, Andy?
No. Yeah, in my own mind, I was a all-world talent, but that was not the case. But so he was a multi-sport athlete.
Yes, he was. Oh, yeah. He was in Little League baseball. Of course, I was coaching out there at the time, and he was one of the better pitchers that we had. We went to the district tournament, and we depended on him. Very good kid.
That's awesome.
You was talking about coaching just then. Were the parents back then still annoying like they are today?
Well, they were involved. Let's just go that direction.
I like that verbiage. They were involved. That's pretty good stuff.
They weren't like they were today when I played high school sports. I can promise you that.
They weren't when I played either.
Well, they probably weren't when I played Little League either. He was talking about Huffman getting it across the plate. I couldn't control it, so they were probably yelling at me, probably. I could hum it, but I couldn't control it. Those poor batters stepping in the box probably didn't know what to think. But someone very near and dear to my heart, I learned recently was pretty near and dear to you. Tell us a little bit about your relationship and your history with the legendary coach Don Campbell.
Oh, yes. Don was a very good friend. We admired him very much. Corning loved the way he coached, and he wasn't out there just coaching ball. He was teaching fundamentals of life. I think he was quite active with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Don had a great sense of humor, too. I remember I was once interviewing a Bobcat in the dressing room of the office where the coaches would sit. And we were going great guns with the interview, and we looked down, and someone had set a piece of paper on fire and slid it under the door. And just pulling jokes and tricks. He and Dutch Snow at that time. And I always made sure after that that door was closed and locked and something was up against it to keep them from doing it again.
Hey, good thing the field house is built out of bricks and concrete blocks.
That's right. They enjoyed joking.
Oh,
Sure
man.
did.
That's pretty funny.
That is funny.
I hope nobody gets any ideas in the press box.
Yeah, no doubt.
We start getting,
That's wood.
I know. It's already hot enough in there.
Yeah, no kidding.
So do you have any memories that really stick out besides that one, obviously, with Don Campbell, whether it was coaching or just something, friendship with you guys?
Oh, yeah. I remember once when we were playing, this is something that we want to forget because we were playing a district tournament game out here. No, it wasn't district tournament. It was the playoff. We had already won the district championship, and we hosted the first round of the state playoff. And I guess it was McCrory, but they had a quarterback that was very tall, very big, and he could throw that ball. But it was a fourth down with long yardage, and they were backed up to their own goal line, and it was raining cats and dogs. And he took the snap, trying to punt the ball, bobbled it, dropped it, picked it up, and started running, sloshing all the water as he ran right up beside the bench and the coaches. He ran, to the right, ran all the way for a touchdown.
Wow.
And I asked Don, why didn't you step out there and trip him or something? And he said, I really wanted to, but that wouldn't have been good to do. So, but it was quite a ball game and very wet at the time.
He was so competitive, too.
Yes, he was.
And not that he'd ever stooped that low, but boy, he sure wanted to win. And
yes.
I remember the simplicity. My dad and everybody always saying, hey, he's so simple. He's just a simple man. Then I got to interview him one day, and I'm like, man, they're not joking. Like, he is just simple. 3-4 plays. And
yes.
And that was just kind of – I always found that really, really unique. But
I went over and watched them play Pulaski Academy one year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He run the same play every single time.
Yeah.
Fourth down, run the play.
Well, a lot of our roots are from him and Dutch Snow,
Yes.
honestly. You can trace it back to them for many years. I know you were around. What was Dutch Snow like, too?
Just exactly.
Yeah.
He did not joke around as much as Don did.
Yeah.
But Dutch was very sincere, used the fundamentals of football, won a lot of ball games.
Fred, another name we want to bring up is Bill Rahm. I'm sure that name does ring a bell.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about Bill.
Bill, very versatile, very well. He would talk a lot, and he would tell you what he thought. I talked to him once. He was playing softball, left his job in Dallas, and went on a tour with a softball team. Went into Russia, actually played 2 ball games there, and the main thing he remembered about those games was the airplane that took him and took the team there. He didn't know if it would ever get off the ground, and he described how simple it was and how it shook, and That's just one thing that I remember about Bill. He was willing to tell you all about it. A very good ball player. He played well up into played softball well up into middle age and loved it.
He knew a lot about sports too, didn't he?
Oh, he did.
Stats.
He would certainly remember those things. And
Yeah, they said you
he
could
could
ask him the stats of just about any player, and he could spout them off to you just like that.
He would, yes.
He may have been a Russian spy. That might have been why he was over there.
Well, if he was here
Who
today,
knows?
he might could bring Brittany Griner home.
I tell you what, I respect anybody that can play anything athletically into their middle age. I'm 35, and I don't think I could go out there and do it right now. I really don't.
Let's go to
Bill.
Russia and play softball, Andy.
Okay, let's try it. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to need
Bill
a
played a long
wheelbarrow.
time.
Yeah.
Played a long time, he sure did.
That's wild to up and just give up your full-time.
He must have loved softball is all I can say.
Well,
Man.
I don't think he gave up his job. I think he used his vacation for that. Special
okay.
days
That'd
off.
be a heck of a vacation, man.
You ain't
Things,
kidding.
yeah.
Man.
What you doing, buddy? I'm over here at Russia playing softball.
Softball.
tournament.
Yeah, he played there, and they traveled to Italy and played, and Germany. So
Wow. They had a
played
world
all-
tour
Yeah.
yes,
from Mother
playing
Russia.
softball.
That's awesome.
Keeping up with the name game here, tell us about Russell Dean.
Oh, Russell Dean was something else. Russell, at first, Russell went to school here, and he played football as junior high. He might have been older than most of the boys, but he was very fast. And I don't remember the senior high. Of course, I wasn't around when he was in senior high. But I know in junior high he certainly made a name for himself. Russell Dean would not miss a practice. He would go out to practice, watch the game, talk to the coach, very personable. His mother and sister were sitting in the car in the shade out there at Bobcat Field. But Russell Dean was a true supporter of Corning Bobcats.
When I played 7th, 8th, 9th grade, he was at every, like you said, he was
Yes.
every single practice.
Yes,
And he'd have a big old cooler full of sodas for us after practice.
Russell Dean was something
Yep,
else.
he was a good man.
He went to every game here, and people would say, Russell, we have to go to Harrisburg. Come on, ride with us. And that's how he went to the out-of-town games with other people. But he didn't miss anything here. And he also, when Don Campbell was here, the Booster Club bought jackets, Bobcat jackets for people. Russell Dean was the first supporter to get one.
That's awesome.
That's
And
cool.
then his sister got one later. So they
For,
both
for sitting in the car.
yeah.
In the shade.
Well, she would come up in the stands during games.
Yeah.
She would sit in the car during practice sessions. But Russell Dean was a great friend.
I'm gonna just keep up. We've been throwing these names at you. I'm gonna keep it up. I'm just gonna keep the train going here. Do you remember? I'm not even gonna give you the real name. I'm gonna give you the nickname. Do you remember Juddy?
Oh, yes. Juddy Lamas.
Yep.
I was actually away from here at the time that Juddy was injured. He was had a very good attitude and very, very good ball player. But being injured, being paralyzed, that sure made a difference in the life of all the Bobcats. In honoring him, he was something else.
I'd read many articles about weeks after, and maybe even longer than that. They worked really hard, and when I mean they, I meant the team, the city of Corning, to
Yes.
raise money. I know he was in the hospital for a very, very long time.
Yes,
I
he
want to
was.
say Memphis maybe, or I can't remember the hospital, but in there for a very long time. They did a heck of a job just trying to raise money for him. And what's so neat about him, he's faced with all this adversity in life that he goes through with that. Could have easily just felt bad for himself and just kind of just survived through the easy as he can, and bound to this wheelchair, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And he made a heck of a career for himself, a heck of a life. He's got several books out there. He's got one I'm reading right now that's really intriguing. And he mentions the incident that night. And I don't think he ever had any ill will towards football. He still loved football even after that. He's been very successful in some different avenues, too. I just think it's so cool.
I admire him very much because he went on to the University of Arkansas and got an education, even though he was paralyzed from the neck down.
That's awesome.
That's if anybody doesn't know the University of Arkansas, if you've ever seen their campus, holy smokes, they call it the hill for a reason. You're up, you're down. So I can't imagine him trying to get, to his classes, to whatever. You know,
they probably didn't have. I don't know if they had motorized wheelchairs back then.
Who knows? I don't know. They'd have to get the old.
If he didn't, he had some strong arms.
The old hitch out and just lasso him and, and go. But yeah, he's that's impressive, and we're hoping to interview some of his family members at some point down the road.
That would be great.
Yeah, we want to give him some love. 'Cause I honestly didn't know that story until about this time last year. I was reading an article and I'm like, now who's Juddy? Yeah. And it had said that, and it said a horrible accident on the field. And if I'm not mistaken, someone told me Miss Annie Morrow was actually dating him at the time. And I know Miss Annie Morrow, of course, God love her, she's no longer with us. But I wanted to pick her brain, and, of course, I couldn't. So I've been trying to dig up all these articles. So anytime I get a chance, I ask about Juddy, if I can. I want to throw something at you here, okay? You've done this for a long time, like I mentioned earlier. You've been covering Corning athletics. What is the most memorable or a couple of memorable games that you've ever witnessed, whether you're covering them or you're just there watching them?
That's quite a difficult question. I think the Thanksgiving Day playing Piggott would have been one of the memorable football games. Some of the people who have played and participated and still support the Bobcats, a lot of those. I remember talking to Paul Stovall. Paul was a coach here up until the latter 60s.
69.
And, I think 69 he went to Walnut Ridge. So that was quite a battle, Corning and Walnut Ridge. And David Luter was one of the defensive players for Corning. And I talked to Paul Stovall about David. What did you do? As big as he was, as strong as he was, how did you attack? He said we had 3 players blocking David Luter all the time, and we ran that way. I said, why do you run? He said, well, because that was our strength of blocking. I mean, if we tried to put one player to block him and we went the other way, he'd usually get past that player and tackle us in the backfield. So we attacked their strength.
That's
Bobcat's strength was David Luter on the line, and Stovall had 2 or 3 players blocking him to open the hole. So I remember that.
What was your relationship with Stovall? Were y'all pretty close?
Just strictly coming down and interviewing and seeing him out there working.
You were there during the heydays, during Stovall's era, during Dutch Snow, during Don Campbell. What were the differences between those guys? Were they very similar or were they very different?
I think they were similar. They stuck to the basics. They taught basics, and they harped on it. And they also taught sportsmanship. I can remember once, I don't know who Corning was playing, but one of the players of Corning was either blocking or tackling or doing something, and on the ground a fist fight started right there in front of Dutch and knowing, man, didn't he get out there and break it up in a hurry. So I think they wanted great fundamentals, good sportsmanship. That's what all 3 of them taught.
That's awesome.
It was.
You were talking about the Thanksgiving game. Back then that was kind of a big thing because Thanksgiving is when all the family got together.
Right.
How was the community at that game? Was it packed?
Yes, a full house.
Wow.
I remember, I think the punter, field goal kicker at that time would have been maybe Jerry Smith. But
this is 68 or 69?
68.
68, okay.
In 68. Also remember the enthusiasm of the Bobcats when Mike Walls was the field goal kicker.
Yeah.
last play of the game to win over Walnut Ridge. Mike kicked a field goal. Corning won, and you've seen what the University of Arkansas did is everybody rushed the field. That happened out here. Rushed the field. Corning had a victory.
That wasn't just a field goal. That was a 33-yarder. I read that article. That was so good. It was such a battle. It's funny. Okay, you mentioned that. I asked some people this too before. Back then, was Corning Walnut Ridge a bigger rivalry than Corning Pickett?
No. It was a rivalry, but I don't think anything could equal Corning and Pickett going at each other. But Walnut Ridge began to have good ball teams, and there was quite a fight going there.
I always heard it was either – this is what Don Campbell always told me. He said, man, every year you knew who the contenders were. He said it was either going to be us, Walnut Ridge, or Highland. It was one of us three.
Yeah.
He said every year for a good decade and a half, maybe longer, even before his tenure, but it seemed like those were the three that were top-heavy every single year.
Absolutely. And you throw Pickett in there simply because we're so close. And now we have the Rice Bowl, so that's a good way of topping things off.
I agree.
We had 2 wins over Pickett last night.
Hey, how about that?
I was there.
Seventh
Both teams
grade,
looked very good.
Well, good. I
Very
like
good.
that. I like to hear that. Anytime we beat Piggott, I don't care if it's jelly bean jar guessing, if it's hopscotch, if it's hula hoop. I don't care. As long as we're beating Piggott, I'm happy. I know Fred's probably the same way. Mr. Martin, if they asked you to come out today and help out with the football team, could you coach?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
Did you ever want to be a coach? Did that ever cross your mind?
No. I strictly stuck with baseball coaching because I was doing that for many years. I couldn't do football. I think there are too many fundamentals. There are too many plays. I'm always amazed at watching them run off tackle. Next time, come back and run the other way.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to remember, that's for sure.
That's right.
So you coach baseball?
Oh, yes.
What grades and how long did you do that?
Mostly Little League.
Okay.
I stayed in the Little League and went up a couple of years for the Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Babe Ruth stopped one year or some, and when Rich, my son, got out of Little League, I got the organization together and had several years of Babe Ruth baseball.
That's awesome.
We franchised through Babe Ruth just as Little League always did.
I want to thank you for that because we don't thank those coaches enough, and not just the Little League, but Pee Wee football too, who we're about to have on in a minute. But it's folks like you that allowed all those generations to find their love of sports, to learn a lot while they're doing it, and just be better people. And I want to thank you for that, for those years. Do you remember Lillard Field?
Oh, yes. Matter of fact, just after Lillard Field was built, Corning hosted the state Little League baseball tournament.
Wow.
Now that's something else. And people came from Malvern, Arkadelphia, Pine Bluff. Why do we have to come this far to get to the edge of Missouri to play Little League baseball? Why? But they get out there and they say, wow, you talk about the sunken dugouts.
Yeah.
You talk about the fence up there and press box. They were very, very pleased with the opportunity of getting to play in a place like that.
Do you remember? You may not remember this, but how did we snatch it? It seemed like it was always at the Burns Park in Little Rock in my days, but how did we snatch that back then?
I have no idea.
That is awesome.
I'm sure they really went to work convincing people, come and see our new ball field. Come and see what we've got. Yeah. And we kept it a long time, too.
Do you remember? I don't want to put you on the spot. Do you happen to remember what year that might have been, or roughly what year?
Oh, no, probably in the early 60s.
Early 60s, okay.
Yeah.
That's impressive, man. Whoever was a part of that, I don't know if they're still around or not, but, man, kudos to you guys. That's awesome to get the state Little League tournament up as far up as northeast as you can possibly
That's right.
get.
Yeah.
I can only imagine somebody from, like you said, Magnolia, Hope, Texarkana, wherever, hadn't to come up to play baseball. But I remember we played. I don't know why we played there because I know Victory Lake Complex was actually built when I was younger. But for some reason, I don't know if it was our grade, but we came up playing at Lillard Field. And I do remember those sunken dug. It was just neat in that
Absolutely.
big old press box. I don't even know why. Do y'all know why they tore that down? Was there?
I don't have a clue.
Well,
I wish they would have kept it.
once the league moved, the city needed that area. So I think they have a well out there now and maybe other things. But,
Yeah.
That place was like walking into Busch Stadium when you was a kid.
I'm gonna tell you,
It
yeah,
was.
it was
Very
like
elaborate.
our Wrigley Field here at Corning. It was.
that was actually built by J.A. Lillard. He went around and got a lot of donations and worked on those. And Clay County Electric personnel did a lot of work out there.
You know, it's funny. You mentioned that state tournament. I found a bunch of photos from aerial views back in the it was
Oh, yes.
mid-'60s maybe. I didn't even know they had a camera like that they could do that back then. But they were pretty good shots. I'm betting, because I was sitting there thinking to myself, why were they doing that back then, you know? But I bet they were doing that because of that state. I bet that was helping promote that state tournament, I bet.
Oh, yes, and to try to maybe give us bragging rights. We've got a better ball field than anywhere in the state. And it was. It was very nice.
Fred, across the road from the Little League ballpark, did that used to be the field where they played? Because I know when I started playing Little League when I was 6, we practiced across the road and they had a backstop and everything over there. You remember that?
I remember a field being there before they put the water plant in. Yeah,
Okay.
but they never used it for
It's just for practice.
Yeah. The
You-
city owned it.
You wouldn't happen to remember, again, some document stuff here, just for my personal use. You wouldn't happen to remember what we were using before Lillard Field, do you?
Yes, they were out here at the elementary school,
So at the elementary school.
at Park Elementary.
Yeah.
Okay, the field out.
The
We've heard that
field,
before.
I remember the
Yeah.
backstop was still there when I was
Backstop
playing
was
with
there,
Babe Ruth.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was before Lillard. That's what they were playing before
Yes,
Lillard. Okay.
sure was.
Because we'd heard they played there. I just didn't know what the year time frame.
And they've actually expanded Park Elementary out into right field. The time they were playing Babe Ruth and Little League out there, the school didn't scoot out as far to the east as it does now. So it was a large field.
This is totally not sports related, but this show originally was going to be sports related. But we say, no, we're going to do stuff for the city of Corning too. So we're going to eventually get the mayor here and some different things, and the 4th of July, things like that. But I'm curious of somebody who's been here as long as you have in this community. What was the 4th of July picnic like back in the day versus what it is now?
Oh, it was busy, very busy. And that was the time that people who moved away would come back. And, it was full. If people moved to Rockford, that's where a lot of people went to work up there. And they would come back here, and people would take their lawn chairs and sit out in the shade and talk to everybody as they come by. It was a full house. But then when long distance and Facebook and things like that, why should they come back to town to see Uncle Jim, Aunt Gladys? They can do it on the phone now. So modern era has, modern communications has certainly taken a big hit on the 4th of July.
I never thought of it like that, but that's a good point.
That's what Coach Smith was saying too. It's like a big gathering.
It was.
You would pack up and be there all day long.
Yes.
Let's get rid of Facebook.
Let's shut it down.
Shut it down.
Fred Martin's got the power, baby. You spearhead it, we'll follow you.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah.
we don't. Let's keep YouTube. We got to be able to stream our games. And this, I seen an article one time. This is from way back in the day. They actually had like hot air. I don't know if it's a hot air balloon ride for people or something.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember it, but I saw that same article.
Yeah, that was at
Yeah.
the 4th of July picnic too. So
Yeah.
maybe some creative stuff
Hey,
there.
if they still had that, you could provide the hot air.
I got all the hot air you need, baby. That's why it's warm in here. We got that AC turned, got it cranked down. Hey,
I think the heat's coming off of her, too, truth.
That's
kind of hot.
probably
Yeah,
what
you're
it
right.
just before you get off here, I'm gonna just a couple of things here, a couple comments. Blake Calhoun, good luck tonight, Bobcats. Donnie Martin's watching. Dora Beecher watching. I believe they should teach children it's a game, win or lose. Be a good sport and shake hands with the winner. And congratulations them. Work harder to try to win, but never bully anyone. We agree there.
I agree with that.
Dalton Hollingsworth said, this is directed to you. He said, when's the next wiffle ball game, Mr. Martin?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know what he means. After.
Hey, we should do that on CSR next time they have a big wiffle ball game.
We should do that.
We,
we hear you're a wiffle ball legend in these parts. So.
Well, I don't know about that, but the house next to me on Bryant Street burned, tore down. I bought the lot, and about 25 years ago, we turned it into a wiffle ball stadium. My son's in Jonesboro, and they were replacing those those large, what do you call it, the score, where they kept the score and everything up on that. Scoreboards, yeah. So he talked to a fellow who painted it, put Martin Field on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we put it up. We don't have any electricity running to it, though. It would take too much.
Mr. Greg Arnn, if you're listening, we've got to get electricity to Martin Field. And we're going to live stream. We'll get the Pee Wee guys versus CSR. No, actually, they look pretty athletic. Let's don't do them. Let's do somebody else. We'll do I don't know, Harps or Sonic or somebody. We don't want these guys, but we'll figure it out. But that is awesome, though. That is really cool.
We have a good time with the family, and then we invite other people to come in and play.
Well, I just want to put you on the spot here. Then live on live audience, a global live audience. Would us CSR would we be allowed invited to play? Maybe.
Oh yes.
You tell us when, and we're in.
Probably some of the little ones would teach you something.
There we go. That's his verbal jab. I knew something was coming eventually, and it's okay.
Yes.
Martin got choked up on that.
That's right. Yeah.
Miss Louise Wright says, we fought hard to keep Willard Field. I was the president of Little League the last year we played, though. That's interesting. So I guess it wasn't one of those things where we didn't want it. I guess we did want it. I guess it was just one of those things that just didn't work out for us. But Mr. Martin, do you have any closing comments before we get off here?
No, I just want to say thank you for your efforts, all of you, for backing the Bobcats. I think you're very positive with the approach and very enthusiastic, and it rubs off on people.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
We're just trying to make Mr. Fred Martin proud. That's what
Yeah,
we're trying to do.
that's
And
right.
anytime you want to come up here and get on a headset, you're more than welcome to.
Well,
You've
thank
done
you.
that for years, so
Thank you.
I'll boot this guy off any day to get you
All
up there. I
right.
love you, Bart. I love you. He's a legend. I'm
you boot him
sorry.
off?
Thank you.
I've been
Okay.
here longer than
Yeah,
him.
That's true. It's seniority, yeah. Guys, that
See you,
was
Mark.
Mr. Fred Martin live here at KBKG Mornings 93.5. Guys, we got to take a break. We'll be back on the other side of the break. We're going to talk to some Pee Wee football coaches, some guys that volunteer, put a lot of their time in that. So y'all stay with us. We'll be right back at these words from our sponsors.
Red Taylor Ford, your family-owned and operated hometown dealer right here in Corning for over 45 years now. Any of your automotive needs, go by and see them, whether it's sales, maybe new or used, or parts or service. They've got you taken care of. You can see them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or Saturday, 7 to noon. A lot of friendly faces there, like David and Brent Taylor, Jim Clifton. Or you can call those fine folks at 870-857-3516. Find them on Facebook. Find them online, www.redtaylorford.com. Proud sponsors of KBKG More Music 93.5 FM and of the Corning Bobcats. KBKG More Music 93.5 FM. Corning's hometown station. That's what you're listening to right now, and we appreciate you for tuning in. Hey guys, if you want to tune in every Friday night during football season, we'll have all the Corning Bobcat football games live on your radio waves right here. Also select basketball games, baseball, and softball games. That's right here, More Music 93.5. Also, we want to say thank you to Jim Atkins, owner-operator at KBKG, for all he does and for allowing us to do this radio show this morning, and Amanda Sutphin for all of her help, and Rob Barnett for all he does as well. Again, KBKG, More Music 93.5, Corning's hometown station. Go Cats, go. You're listening to Good Morning Corning, our new radio station here in our hometown of Corning, Arkansas, hosted by myself, Andy Earls, and co-hosted by Bart White and Mark Hufford, right here on KBKG, More Music 93.5. Look ahead to more of these radio shows, and your current show will be back on very shortly. Thanks for tuning in.
And we're back here live at KBKG, More Music 93.5 headquarters here, your hometown radio station. Big thank you to Jim Atkins, the owner-operator here at the radio station, for even allowing us to use his building to take up the airtime. They sell a lot of ads for things, have a lot of music, and we're able to take that up, and we really appreciate him for allowing that. Amanda Sutphin, Rob Barnett, the folks that do all the technical stuff behind the scenes here for the radio station as well. Andy Earls, your host, co-host Bart White, I can't remember what Ninja Turtle we used to call him, and Mark Huff Daddy Hufford. We got two guys here for an interview, special guests, and they are with the Pee Wee football program. Give you your first look there at Mr. James Varvel. What's his nickname, Bart?
Muffin.
James Muffin Varvel and Chris Cox. They are here live with us. Fellas, how you doing?
Good.
We appreciate y'all coming in. I know obviously you guys are both busy. You both got full-time jobs. You got families. You got all kinds of stuff going on. And for y'all to take your time out to come up here, I really do appreciate that. So
we appreciate everything y'all do.
Thank you. That means a lot to us. We paid him to say that, but we'll get that check in the mail, I promise. I just want to I got to start because I can't let this go. We were talking before we came on.
And he said, Bart, you can't call me Muffin.
Yeah.
So I got to, okay, Bart, I'm going to let you start. How did we get this?
Yeah, how'd you get the nickname Muffin, James?
There was in fraternity. Went to Jonesboro, was in KA fraternity, and there's a guy there from Forest City, which I grew up in Forest City as well. His name was Corey, and they said we looked alike, and he was there before me, and they called him Cornbread, and so I was a miniature of Muffin. So
Oh, that's pretty cool.
nothing bad.
That's right. At least it wasn't anything bad.
I don't know what's worse, though, cornbread or muffin.
He
I don't
asked
know.
me a while ago, he said, you do know my name, my real name, right?
This whole time he never knew. All right, so tell everyone at home. First of all, let's go individually here. For those that don't know, James Muffin Varvel, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and what you do.
I grew up in Forest City, Arkansas. I graduated from Palestine Wheatley, which somebody that Corning will play here, hopefully eventually. Yeah. But in 2009, I started dating Christy Smith. I guess it's 2008. And then in 2009, I moved here, and I've been here ever since. And we're married and got 2 kids now. One plays Pee Wee football, and the other one's a kindergarten cheerleader.
She's a sassy one, too, ain't
Yes,
she?
she is.
Which is adorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Chris, if you don't mind, if you'll introduce yourself as well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Chris Cox. Been lifelong resident here in Corning. I got 5 children, all been part of the Corning Athletics. Married to Jenna Cox.
All right, we appreciate that, guys. Tell us y'all's role with the Pee Wee football program, if you don't mind.
well, I guess it starts last year. We formed a board for the Pee Wee program, and last year I was the vice president. Josh Jansen was the president, and this year he's moved. His kids have grown out, and he wanted to step back, and he wanted to get off, and I talked him into staying. So I'm the president of the board, I guess, and
A salesman, too.
yeah. Like I said, I told him, I was like, man, y'all know it as well as anybody. It takes a village.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
it takes a village to do things. You know, and you can't run volunteers off. I mean,
Heck
and so
no,
I
man.
said, we got great coaches that like Chris. Chris has been in it since, forever.
Forever, haven't you?
10, 11
Been
years
a long time.
So
since we started.
and like I said, it just takes everybody. But
What is something that people don't realize that's involved with Pee Wee football, whether from running it or coaching it or whatever, from y'all's perspective, that maybe people don't even realize?
that first week, after we sized equipment, is you can plan all you want on equipment sizes, and you're never going to have the right stuff. And in the way things are now in the world, with repercussions from COVID, OES, whatever, but you can't find anything hardly. Everything's so hard to get. You got to order it so far. Helmets, which junior high last year suffered from helmets last year. They missed 2 or 3 games because the helmets got me. Said, and if you don't almost have it, you're just about not going to get it. And so like I said, it was just scrounging around to find enough stuff to fit the kids after. Because like we ordered brand new jerseys this year, and last year we had a big 6th grade class, which are junior or 7th graders this year, and I was like, "There's no way that we'll have more kids next year than we had this year." So, but I still ordered about 5 or so more jerseys than what we had. We used every single one of them by the time startup. By the time we had 55 kids sign up for it, and that's what I ordered.
That's awesome.
And
that is fantastic.
That is.
Doesn't Andy have like 30 kids on his team?
He started out with 32 or 33.
30.
We have 23.
And we had, we started out with 22, 23, and like I said, we both had some drop, which is natural. But like I said, we had every jersey taken. And like I said, I was hoping we'd have 5 or so extra,
So much for that.
Yeah.
We're getting white T-shirts and drawing on them.
And so
Get the Sharpies out, baby.
and like I said, I just went off jerseys sizes from last year. That's the best I could do because like I said, I had to order them back in June, I think, when I ordered them.
Yeah.
And so there's no way to.
You can't. Nostradamus isn't in the house.
No. So that to me, that's probably one of the biggest hurdles is the equipment.
Yeah.
Well, I want to comment on the other side of the thing is getting people to volunteer. When y'all play at Bobcat Stadium, you have to have somebody run a clock. You try to make it just like it would be if they was playing in high school. Mm-hmm. And I commend y'all guys for doing that because it's hard to round up. We know to get volunteers to do anything if you're not paying them.
Especially good ones.
So it's I commend you guys for sticking with it and trying to make something for those kids they'll remember.
But is it hard getting volunteers? Is that something that's an issue right now at Corning?
Not really.
It's not bad. The thing you see is the same ones do pretty well. Who you can go to, and they're not going to tell you. There's people busy. Like I said, but I did ask Bart. I said, and I totally understand. People are busy. They got their. Tuesday night might be the only night Bart gets off, and.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's hard. For people to do something every single night. And that's it's not. But no, we've taken care of everything, and so that's not been bad.
That's good. I got a question for you, Chris. What's it like coaching kids that age? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, man, that poor guy, he's babysitting. It's like childcare out there. It seems like daycare almost. What's it like coaching these kids?
It's frustrating at times, but they come along towards the end. They listen, do what they need to be doing.
Well, it's like being a parent to 20 kids.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, we had both Coach Smiths on here, and they were bragging about that helps the program.
Yes.
When you keep the Pee Wee program, because by the time they get to 7th grade, they know how to put a helmet on and how to put shoulder pads on, and that's a big plus. So you're not just helping the kids out, you're helping the coaches out also.
I know y'all get griped at by parents. It's just a given.
That was my next question,
But
actually.
what y'all doing is important. Like he said, Jeremy Woods made a good statement last week or last time we was in here. He said, man, when we were 7th graders, we didn't know how to put our pads on.
Yes.
Y'all are getting these kids ready for high school. At least when they go into high school, they know the fundamentals. They know how to put their pads on. And that's way better than just one going straight into 7th grade, never playing football before.
Yeah.
And what y'all are doing is important. We appreciate it.
Is dealing with parents / grandparents, whatever, caregivers of the kids, is that pretty tough at times, or are they pretty mellow at that age?
They're pretty mellow. They ain't had no problems.
We've not had very many issues. I've being as president, I'll probably get the whole shebang of all of them.
I guarantee you.
But I can count on one hand.
Good guy.
One hand, how many issues I've had to deal with parents this year.
That's good.
And so that's like I said. I figured up yesterday. I had some of course, we got cheerleaders involved in it too, and so
awesome.
There's 156 kids that was signed up to start with.
Wow.
with 5, if you can figure on 5, less than 5, that's a pretty good number of issues that we didn't have to, deal with, and I think there was 40 or so. We got just shy of 40 flag kids. Actually, there was 33 or so on the third and fourth tackle football. We had 22, 23 for our fifth and sixth grade team. The cheerleaders, there was 32, I think, kindergarten through second grade, and then 29.
Holy smokes!
So,
I didn't realize we had those kind of numbers. I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't know that.
The other night when me and you filmed,
yeah,
we looked in the stands, and I'm like, this is packed.
That was awesome.
That's Pee Wee football, and it's packed.
Yep.
It really was. That was fun to witness. I didn't know what to expect going up there. I really did. And then get up there, and man, that place is it's better than some Friday nights.
It was not much different against Donovan the other night as well. I mean, I said, Piggott is going to draw a big crowd.
Well, sure, yeah. Proximity
naturally,
and rival, yeah.
But like I said, Donovan wasn't. I looked up there and and it didn't seem like there was very much difference in the Donovan night and Piggott night on our side, and so I mean it's been great turnout. Like I said,
you guys have both been in this a while. What keeps y'all coming back every year? Is it just something your heart's into, or you feel like if you do leave, maybe there won't be any help there next year? I mean, or is it just the kids? What's the one thing that kind of keeps you coming back?
Just do it for the kids.
And you got as many kids as Chris. You're going to be there a while.
He's going to be there another 8 years, at least.
Well, they're great athletes, so keep producing.
He'll retire from Clay County Electric before he does Pee Wee football.
Probably.
That beard will be gray before too long. All right, for those that don't know, and actually myself too, I got a schedule somewhere, but tell us a little bit about what you guys have coming up, at what grades we're at, and what times.
Well, we joined us with Donovan, Rector, and Piggott all joined a small league this year, where we all play each other. We play each other twice, home and away.
Okay.
And so this coming week we go to Piggott. Our fifth and sixth and third and fourth go to Piggott. Our flag will play on Monday nights, the weeks we are away. That way, there's not any interference of parents that
that's good
have issues with that. I said we'll go to Piggott this week, then we go to Donovan the next week, then Rector, then Rector will be home for the last game of the year.
Okay.
And we will have at the end of that, we'll have a playoff. We'll all take set the standings and do a playoff and have a championship out of those.
Let me know when y'all do that, because we want to try to be there for that.
Okay.
And then we need to get to a flag game too if we can, because we weren't able to get them to the day. No. I don't know what you said, Monday nights.
Well, yes, and like I said, we kind of talked, and like I said, well, I want to do the same thing with the flag.
Yeah.
Is at the end of the year we'll do a playoff type deal.
Okay.
And
maybe we could do that then.
Start about 5:30 and have it'll be 3 games and put them in the middle of the field like we've done it before, in the years, and like where they're right in front of the stands and.
Yeah. Not 2 on each side.
Right. Like I said, that way, and that's one thing I hated about the other night was they were on both ends. There's no way you could have, done that.
Especially when I was by myself.
We could barely do the one, so, especially with us two. But you mentioned Piggott. We'll go to Piggott next week, right? It's next Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a challenge to our crowd. When Piggott came here, that side was actually pretty full, too.
They had a good crowd.
So you guys get out there, support these kids at Piggott.
We had a bigger crowd than Piggott last night.
Did we really?
Piggott. Yes, sir.
Well, let's keep it up. I like to hear that.
We did.
I like to hear that. 7th grade and junior high one, we like to hear that, too. I want to thank you guys for all y'all do, for real. It's awesome. I also want to know real quick before we get you up here, how involved are coaches at the next level there? Coach Shelton and them, are they supporting you guys? Are they on board with all that?
Coach Shelton's been great. I mean, he can tell you probably more than I can, but I think Coach Shelton's been more involved than the previous staffs.
That's good.
And he wants to see the program.
Well, he knows what he's got coming up.
That's
so
right.
He wants to be a part of it.
That's right.
We can call him. He'll let us use his stuff.
I mean, we've been out there a time or two, and they've come. Like I know for the 3rd and 4th, they came out to the practice field and worked with them, and we went up there to their place and worked on proper tackling techniques. I mean, to make it safer for everyone. But like I said, anything that we need from Coach Shelton or any of the staff, they've been great.
That's awesome, man. And again, thank you guys. Because when I was younger, we didn't have Pee Wee football program here. In fact, I came really close to not even playing. I had to go all the way to Paragould to play, and it was hard for my dad at the time to get to practices, to games, and with a full-time job and such. So you guys man, keep it up. And
We appreciate everything.
Yeah, if y'all ever
We
need
do.
something, let us know. We'll do everything we can. And we'll send somebody out there to help. We'll figure it out. But you guys rock. Anything else you guys want to say before we get off here?
I just want to mention our coaches and like Chris is the head coach of the 5th and 6th. Me and Mark Lucas help him. Andy Jett's the head coach of the 3rd and 4th, and he's got Corey Godwin and Jordan Whitley helps him, and Logan Jett when he can. Flag coaches, we got Adam Valance. Carla Whitman helps him, and Chris is there, when he can be. Logan and Matt Carpenter coach a team. Jared Williams and Gage Arnold coach a team, and then Nick Green and Trey Bowers helps him when he can.
Right.
And then our cheerleaders, we got Amy Catt and Brianna Woodard are kind of spearheaded that deal. And Brianna coaches the 3rd through 6th with Candace. I can't remember her last name now. I roll all the stuff down. And then the kindergarten through 2nd, which, like I said, that's a treat to watch.
Yeah.
You got Donna Montgomery and Rachel Benton, coach them, and Bechet Hollis. And then Trisha Woodard I know I've seen several. That's who Joe's cheering with, and that several of the 7th grade cheerleaders helped him. Like I said, Blaine Jett takes care of all our money, which I know she's been ready to kill me.
I bet.
This fall, because just bringing receipts to her and trying to get them paid. Like I said, the equipment is a nightmare. Like I said, Ethan Jordan has done a great job getting us, referees for the flag, and he's done our PA system for us, which is, like I said, that's one thing.
Countries can be. I like it.
And that's, like I said, that's one thing. We've never really done the PA for him, which we ain't played here a lot either. But
Yeah.
like I said, I wanted to try to make it as real for the kids as
As a
could
game
be,
day is. Yeah.
because they love. I always liked hearing my name called too.
Yeah.
Muffin Marvel.
But I thought that would be cool for the kids to hear. They're not. They can make a tackle. And they get their name called or make a big run or something.
Yeah.
I think anything that can make them enjoy it more.
Get them pumped up.
That's right.
Well, man, we appreciate you guys,
Yeah,
and
we
we
do.
appreciate all the people you mentioned. If y'all are listening, we appreciate what y'all
Yeah.
are doing.
I'm sure. There's plenty we left out.
That's
don't
crazy.
know.
That's a ton of volunteers. I didn't realize we had that many kids, number one. I knew we
That's
had
a
a
lot
little
of
bit of
kids.
cheerleaders. I didn't realize we had that many cheerleaders. Then volunteers. That's wild. I can't imagine being the president. I can tell you, a little receding hair there.
Yeah.
I can see why.
I got between the Bart Wright and the Andy Earls.
Yes, somewhere in between. Yeah. Not quite as big of a 5 head, but yeah.
Mine's 2 days old. I cut it 2 days ago.
You rub that. Ooh, that's nice. So you boys need to rub that for tonight for good luck now, okay?
Yeah, you may want to rub it for about an hour.
Again, guys, thank y'all. Chris Cox, James Varwell, Pee Wee Football Program. Tuesday night, right?
Yes.
At Piggott. Let's get out. Let's support these guys. Great sports to be here, too, to do this. We didn't really have any questions lined up for them. We just went at it, and they did a great job, so we appreciate them.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys. You're listening to Good Morning Corning live on KBKG More Music 93.5. We'll be right back at these words from our sponsors.
Red Taylor Ford, your family-owned and operated hometown dealer right here in Corning for over 45 years now. Any of your automotive needs, go by and see them, whether it's sales, maybe new or used, or parts or service. They've got you taken care of. You can see them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or Saturday, 7 to noon. A lot of friendly faces there, like David and Brent Taylor, Jim Clifton. Or you can call those fine folks at 870-857-3516. Find them on Facebook. Find them online, www.redtaylorford.com. Proud sponsors of KBKG More Music 93.5 FM and of the Corning Bobcats. KBKG More Music 93.5 FM. Corning's hometown station. That's what you're listening to right now, and we appreciate you for tuning in. Hey guys, if you want to tune in every Friday night during football season, we'll have all the Corning Bobcat football games live on your radio waves right here. Also select basketball games, baseball, and softball games. That's right here, More Music 93.5. Also, we want to say thank you to Jim Atkins, owner-operator at KBKG, for all he does and for allowing us to do this radio show this morning, and Amanda Sutphin for all of her help, and Rob Barnett for all he does as well. Again, KBKG, More Music 93.5, Corning's hometown station. Go Cats, go. You're listening to Good Morning Corning, our new radio station here in our hometown of Corning, Arkansas, hosted by myself, Andy Earls, and co-hosted by Bart White and Mark Hufford, right here on KBKG, More Music 93.5. Look ahead to more of these radio shows, and your current show will be back on very shortly. Thanks for tuning in. Red Taylor Ford, your family-owned and operated hometown dealer right here in Corning for over 45 years now. Any of your automotive needs, go by and see them, whether it's sales, maybe new or used, or parts or service. They've got you taken care of. You can see them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or Saturday, 7 to noon. A lot of friendly faces there, like David and Brent Taylor, Jim Clifton. Or you can call those fine folks at 870-857-3516. Find them on Facebook. Find them online, www.redtaylorford.com. Proud sponsors of KBKG More Music 93.5 FM and of the Corning Bobcats. KBKG More Music 93.5 FM. Corning's hometown station. That's what you're listening to right now, and we appreciate you for tuning in. Hey guys, if you want to tune in every Friday night during football season, we'll have all the Corning Bobcat football games live on your radio waves right here. Also select basketball games, baseball, and softball games. That's right here, More Music 90.
And we're back here live at KBKG More Music 93.5 headquarters, your hometown radio station here in Corning, Arkansas. Who am I talking like right now? Corning.
Ethan Jordan.
One of our next guest interviews. Hey, real quick, I want to thank these two guys. I rag on them really hard, but they get here on time. They do their job, and I really appreciate them helping out. And they also help out a lot with CSR, everything that we do. And it's hard to do a radio show without co-hosts, so I appreciate these two
I'm
right
just
here.
glad you moved it to 7:30 from 6 o'clock.
Oh, me too. That was brutal, wasn't it? That was absolutely brutal. I don't know whose idea that was.
And then it was 4.5 hours long.
Who thought of that?
I don't know.
You need a backhand. You need a Ric Flair chop, that guy. All right, guys, we're going to go to our special guest here. We got two of them, not one, count them two. Two seniors.
Two of the best-looking Corning football players.
I would have to agree with you.
1A.
Yeah, because he kind of looks like me.
Who's 1A and who's 1B here? Let's see.
I'd be 1A. I'd be 1B.
Sharp-dressed men to Mr. Ethan Jordan to your right, Mr. Eli Mason to the left. Gentlemen, thank y'all for joining us today, first of all.
And you're welcome for us getting you out of class.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Y'all, would y'all like us to run this show till noon?
Yeah. It would be appreciated.
Speaking of, okay, let's start with that. Speaking of, what class are you supposed to be in right now?
I'd be in agricultural metals.
And you?
In your book.
In your book.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be doing too much.
Nothing.
He'd be sitting in the back of class on his phone.
Okay. Fair enough. Watching the replay of last week's game
That's right.
to get better. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
By the way, I missed last week, but I did watch y'all, and I thought y'all played a pretty good ball game.
Y'all did.
We appreciate it.
I really did, man. Hey, just a player or two here. I'm serious. I know.
We could, yeah.
I know y'all say I'm positive, whatever, but no, seriously, one player or two here or there. I'm telling you, it's a different ball game. That's a good ball club, guys. That's a really good ball club. So.
One young man over there that had an outstanding game on his birthday.
Yeah,
he did.
Birthday boy. I got to ask you. This is totally. I just got to go out there right now since you mentioned that. You've got like 4, 5, 6, I don't know, 50 fumble recoveries this year. How the heck do you find yourself in the right place at the right time? How do you do that?
I don't really know. It just happened.
You had 2 the other night?
I had 2.
He's a fumble magnet.
My goodness. The ball just finds him.
I didn't do it, though. They forced the fumbles. I just picked them up.
Hey, someone's got to be there to clean it up.
I got to clean it up.
So you had, so on your birthday, you had 2 fumble recoveries. Counts for 2 turnovers of the other team. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And you caught a touchdown pass as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And he blocked 2 passes. Knocked down 2 passes.
I know one for sure. Yeah, that's right.
There was 2.
2 of them, man. That's a heck of a birthday right there now.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a birthday.
And I got to commentate
Yeah, and you just
with his
asked him
uncle.
my question, Andy.
His uncle was up there, and
Mark it up.
he was talking about Okay, this is a good game. It's a good game. That's the only time I think he claimed Eli as his nephew was during that game.
Probably.
I think you're right.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, guys, I want to know real quick. This is not sports related, but what is for both y'all? Both y'all answer this. What is y'all's favorite class this year?
Probably ag metals. I just go in there, just weld all hour. I weld for my first hour and my third hour. I got ag metals and ag mechanics, and I just weld for both of them.
Do you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah.
Are you pretty good at it?
No.
Honesty.
We just go in there and just do something to have a little bit
I got a
of
guy
fun.
that can teach you how to weld if you ever really want to learn to weld.
Hey, do we need anything welded at CSR? What do you,
We need a new booth built.
Yeah, can you build us? No, okay, not you.
How big of a booth?
No, it's just so hot. It's so hot. Eli, what's your favorite class?
Probably Miss Davis's second hour. We'd like to give Miss Davis some trouble.
There you go.
You talking about Jack's mother?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, all the boys have her.
Yeah, we all have that second
Bless
hour.
her heart.
I bet she
feel
tries to
sorry
keep
for
you
her.
online too, don't she?
I can't
Yeah, she
imagine.
tries.
I can't imagine.
All right, Eli, who's your favorite teacher?
This year or all time?
All-time favorite
Yeah,
teacher.
come on.
Probably Miss Radcliffe.
Yeah.
I like Miss Radcliffe.
Yeah. I went to first grade with her at Reno. Yep, I went to Reno for half a year.
So if we need some good stories, then we need to get a hold of Miss Radcliffe.
Probably. She can probably tell you some, I'm sure. Ethan, who's your all-time favorite teacher?
Had a bunch of favorites, but I'd for sure go with Miss Lori Monk.
Yeah,
Miss
she's
Mock,
a good
yeah.
one. She's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, she's a good one, too.
Absolutely.
You know who mine would be?
Let's hear it.
He's sitting right across from you right there. Mr. Bill Innis. Who, by the way, stay with us, guys. After these gentlemen get Mr. Bill Innis
Did
on.
he retire before you got to school?
No. No, but darn it, every time I did something wrong, my dad being there, it didn't help things. I thought we were closer than that. I thought you were going to tell me first, then tell him later.
He makes you walk the line, buddy.
I appreciate
I
that.
guarantee
Now,
you.
I probably didn't then, but I definitely
He's probably got after me a few times, I'm sure.
All right, fellas. We'll start with you, Ethan. What is it like playing for Coach Sheldon?
Great experience. His coaching career is by far one of the best I've seen. I mean, he's just had a great coaching career. He's won championships. He's coming from them bigger schools down to this smaller school, and he's learning how to work with us and, get us better as a team, works on building our brotherhood. And it's just a great experience to be playing for him.
Eli?
Oh, it's very good. He's a very good coach, very smart, and just even when stuff goes bad, just looking on to the future, just not to dwell on it, keep going.
I've said this every interview show we've had. I love his enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he gets.
I like his attention to
He gets with it
detail.
on the sidelines.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to have that, man.
Yeah.
You got to have it.
After games, win or loss, he'll say you got 24 hours to get over it. Even if it's a win, 24 hours, get over it, because we got to focus on next week. And that's what I really like.
Yeah, you can't dwell on the past all
Yeah.
week long.
I like the way he studies the game. He'll break it down individually for you.
No, for sure.
Help you correct what you did wrong. I heard from Timothy there's a grading system.
Yep.
Sometimes that's not too good, but
No.
but it helps you see.
Man, I'm at
What
F.
you need to
I was a C- average in my days.
Andy, you were an A+, buddy.
No, I was not. Guarantee you that. Hey, I want to know something.
All right.
You obviously got the short sleeve today. I know why, because you can't get those arms in a long sleeve. How much are you benching now?
Oh, I'd probably say anywhere around 365.
That's more than I weigh.
I was going to say, I was looking at you guys like, I wonder what they weigh. That's
Are
what
you
I was-
sure about
I'm
that?
positive.
I'd say around 365 right now. I kindly let off of it, the weightlifting portion, for quite a bit. When I was at my max, though, I was around 405.
That's awesome. 405? Holy smokes. That's impressive.
Well, it's these short arms.
That's what
That
big
helps.
chest.
That does help.
Did it help you, Bart?
I got to know this too.
300 about all I've ever benched.
That's
Both
pretty good.
of you, both you guys are seniors this year. What's the emotions like for you playing your senior year?
Oh, it's just all over the place. Football's something I started when I was real little, and it's been just a huge part of my life. Something I've always loved to do. And so now knowing we're getting to that senior year, it's our year. We're the leaders now. and it's like a lot of stuff's on our shoulders. I mean, I love the feeling. Don't get me wrong, I love the feeling of being a senior, but it's just knowing that the high school career is almost over. It's upsetting.
Eli?
Yeah, it's very upsetting, because in the past, bad game, move on. You got a lot more this year. It's counting down.
Counting down, they're about
you got to
over.
make the most of them. Yeah.
Now, you two guys have played football together since third grade?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Have you been on the same team the whole time?
We was not in Pee Wee.
I think we was our first 2 years. I think third and fourth we was both on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And then fifth and sixth I was on the Steelers.
Yeah, you got moved to
I was
Steelers,
on
and
the
I stayed on the
Steelers.
Cowboys.
Yeah. So we was.
So 1 year out of the 9 we've been playing.
Yeah, I've been on the same team.
They've both grown about the same because Eli's about as much taller as Ethan now as he
It's
was
the
when he was
hair.
third grade.
It's the hair.
Oh, by the way, I just got a text message from Miss Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
For Eli,
Davis.
you still have to write the essay about being on CSR.
That was a great opportunity. He took advantage of it.
Yeah.
It didn't work, but
I tried.
you can't fault
Write
him
that
for that.
essay. Write
Can't
that
fault him
essay.
for the effort, though. Somebody else, actually, Blake Calhoun, said Eli Mason had a great game last week. Not a good game, but a great game last week.
Thank you.
And you boys on the line, man, y'all went at it with them. And honestly, as far as the line goes, I thought you guys won the battle there, to be honest with you.
I thought we did too. Just a few of the big plays is what got us. But
I agree. We've looked at it. We've watched film. We'll watch film
a bunch of film.
2-3 hours at a time. We'll break down every play, and when it just boils down to it, Corning beat Corning that game.
Yeah.
Win or
I
lose.
love it, though. I love it.
Win or lose, Saturday morning, we're all up at 7 o'clock watching film.
We come in every Saturday morning to watch film.
That's impressive. What do you guys think about the dressing up stuff? You guys cool with that? Y'all like
Love
that?
It was actually our idea to bring it back.
It
so
was.
yeah,
That's
I really
awesome.
Like it.
Are those clip-ons or those?
No.
No, this
okay.
one's tied by yours truly.
Okay, all right.
Funny
Just making
story
sure.
about him. He used to make fun of his accent. My youngest daughter moved to Paragould when she first moved from home, and I was working, so he helped. And he was over talking, and one of her buddies goes, "Dude, where are you from?" He goes, "Success." He goes, "Where's that?" He said, "Oh, by Corning."
I'm by Corning,
He said,
baby.
"You're the most hit kid I've ever heard in my life."
I love it, especially on the PA system.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey,
Go
we're
ahead,
we're
Mark.
going to get off your talking, Ethan.
Saved by Mark.
Let's talk about the injury. You're playing hurt.
Yes, sir.
How do you push through from week to week?
Well, the night it happened.
He's kin to me.
Yeah, that's what it
That's
is.
definitely.
That's not it. Go ahead.
Definitely not.
When it happened, I come off. It was the first quarter, first game. I recently, when I first heard it, it was at a scrimmage that we did over the summer, and it's my PCL, which is just in the back of my knee, and she told me that it can't get no worse than what it already is. So if you want to play, you're just going to have to play through the pain, and then being my senior year, I can't set it out, and so that's just what I got to do.
You talking about?
I respect that.
Yeah, the first game. Thoughts going through your head, hey, I'm injured, I may not get to play my senior year. I don't think it just affected you because watching the game, it affected that whole O-line. You guys are seniors, and y'all were seniors all across the board there. And you pull somebody out, you pull out a missing piece there, and it kind of crumbles.
Yeah.
They recovered. It took them a little time to come back. But going forward, having that piece back in there, we seen it this last game. That O-line
Look good.
looked really good. Very
They've,
nice.
I got to really give props to Mr. Hampton. He come right down there when I was hurting. He took it upon himself to order me a brace as well, and I just wear it. I wear it in practices. I wear it while we're running. And I just got to give props to him.
Eli, I want to start with you. We've already talked a little bit about Coach Shelton, but what's it like playing under Coach Shelton that's maybe different than coaches of the past?
Everything's a lot faster pace, You try to practice. He tries to make practice harder than the game, so it comes easier in the game. You got to be a lot more disciplined to play for Coach Shelton. Everything, kind of like Nick Saban, everything's got to be perfect. But
That's why
that's
his hair
good
is
though.
perfect today. Look at that.
I try.
Beautiful.
That's probably not going to get you out of running. I mean, it didn't get you out of your writing essay.
No.
So,
Oh, yeah, Coach Shelton just called Texas. He got to run 50 laps before the game.
That's awesome. I love that.
I like the fact that y'all hit a while ago on the brotherhood. I have not seen in my years of watching the Corning football team a bond like you guys have got this year. You know, we've seen tidbits over the past couple of years of it starting to grow, but this year it's kind of like it's all in.
Yeah.
When Landon was here doing his interview, the thing he commented on, and I think you can feed off of it, was we're engaging with the sophomores because you know you need them.
Yeah.
You got to have them to play.
You know, it's the future of the Corning football anyway. I mean,
Y'all got some pretty good ones too.
We do. You know, but that brotherhood, it's not just on the football field. You know, we take it into practice. It's in the locker room. You know, even on the weekends, we go hang out. You know, we'll take juniors and all that. We'll just go hang out. You know, just go out of town, do something. We go to the golf course. We're not good by no means, but we'll go out there and just hang out.
Fun though, ain't it?
Yeah, bringing that brotherhood together is a big thing because you can definitely tell it when you're playing on the field.
I want to thank you for some of that, Mark.
Yes.
You guys are both in the boot camp boys.
Yes, sir.
What was that experience like for you guys? And were y'all a little timid at first maybe to do that?
That turned my life around 100%. Before it started, you know, I wasn't real. At the time, right before it started, I was going through a loss with my grandma, and I just wasn't real close with the Lord. And boot camp boys and Mark turned it completely around for me. Took him as my savior, got baptized. So it was just
awesome.
A fantastic.
That's a very great experience, yeah.
Were you guys, when you first started that, were y'all kind of like, I don't know?
Not really.
Yeah, because he's honestly, I know we rag Mark a lot. He's actually a fun guy to be around.
No, he really is. We do, and he's a darn good dude. Yeah, well, hey, I was in that too. Decent. But he really is.
220s will work.
Yeah, he's helped me out a lot. I know me personally with a lot of stuff that we do with CSR, and I can't thank him enough either. But I think it's awesome that you guys did that. I think that to have a kid that, I guess y'all were probably 17, maybe even 16. I don't know, but to do that, to give up your Wednesday nights like that, to go be a part of something like that, and at the time, I'm sure that's not the cool thing to do. It's not the hip thing. It's not the most popular thing to do. And you guys, how long did y'all stuck with that for a while?
You guys made a commitment for a year and a half. You know, that
started out as 8 weeks.
Started out as 8 weeks.
Yeah,
that's the reason we got the boot camp boys started. It was an 8-week program, and we went a year and a half. So,
and as much as he probably changed y'all's life, I'd probably imagine you guys affected him probably.
Oh, most definitely. I don't want to have grandkids.
Maybe until they're 6 or 7, then ship them off.
I will put you guys on the spot. Now, I think you guys will be fine with this. Now, we put Landon and Timothy on the spot. Or what did you call Timothy?
Teen Wolf.
We put Landon and Teen Wolf on the spot, so we're going to put you guys on the spot. Can you boys, because I know today's age of music is so different than it used to be, can y'all name one Conway Twitty song?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Hit me.
100%. Love to lay you down. Slow hand.
Don't take it away.
Yeah, don't take it away.
Nice.
You're talking about two country
That's
fans, though.
country boys. I like it now.
He also likes meatloaf.
Who doesn't like meatloaf?
I'm talking about not with mashed potatoes. I'm talking about the food.
That's just that's my style of music. That's what Dad raised me with, was old country music, old rock. That's just what I've always listened to.
That's awesome. I want to see you in a meatloaf costume for Halloween one year. Can you do it? Like the white sweaty shirt that's like a V-neck. It looks like a figure skating outfit.
And he's got to sing "I Would Do Anything."
You have to, yeah.
We can give it a shot.
Okay.
Now let's get out of
He'll
there.
have to get my wife to make him a costume.
She can do it.
They can look at that picture. Let's move on to something else. Most memorable game that you've ever watched or played in?
We know the answer.
Yeah, Rice Bowl.
Same for you, Eli?
I like the Baptist Prep game.
Yeah, that was a good game.
But
and then playoff.
And beating Salem to our sophomore year was a big game because nobody thought we was going to win.
Big upset game there.
I do remember a lot of talk that Salem was kind of head and shoulders above us, and that they were ranked quite a ways up higher than we were. And you're right, and I think that was a big turning point that year too, because I think that was our litmus test essentially. If you could play with Salem, you could play with the rest of these teams. You could squeeze in this playoff and maybe even win a game. And you guys came out. I think Region 8 was there. I think there was a lot of eyes.
It was a game of the week, yeah.
It was a game of the week, a lot of eyes, and you guys came through. That was big time. I had a feeling we could win that game. I didn't think we'd win it the way y'all did. That was impressive. So that's another good game.
That's what we got to do tonight. Expected to or predicted to lose, which we don't think we're going to lose. But we need to get this one tonight.
This will be a very, very big game. Because now next week starting conference play.
Sure, brand new season.
Who we got next week?
We got OCL on the road, but we're going to think about EPC as Coach Shelton. He hears that he don't want to. It's one game at a time demeanor and they go to APC. Speaking of, guys, if y'all can get to Lepanto tonight, please do so. Get out there, support these kids. You don't think it's a big deal maybe, but, man, I'm telling you, I played and having that crowd, especially on the – what the world was that? Especially on the road. Sorry, I'm doing Matrix over here. Especially on the road. I popped my back. It is a big deal, and it really is, especially when they see that and they hear that. And you guys get loud on third downs. You get loud on fourth downs. They score, and they turn to that away bleachers there or whatever it is, and they see a bunch of people up there hooping and hollering. That's big. So if you guys can get there tonight, please do. So Lepanto ain't too bad of a drive.
And we like everybody tuning in, but we would rather have you there.
You can always rewatch us.
Yes.
I'd rather have y'all there, too, because it takes more of the mosquitoes away from me.
That's right.
Man, they were bad at Cross County, weren't they? Oh, my Lord.
Hey, real quick, Phyllis Young says she loves the boot camp thing. She loves that. So thank you guys for making that a reality. I think not only did you guys better yourselves, but I think you bettered a lot of people around you that was involved in that.
Yeah, you guys may not know, you probably do know now, but you also inspired other things to happen because Miss Brittany George is doing something similar on Thursday mornings with the 7th grade football team.
I've seen that. That's a good
that
deal.
is so cool.
That's kind of, I feel like that's kind of inspired by you and their Christian beliefs. So it's it's good to see that in the community. But I want to commend you boys because, and I've talked about this before, over years past, the team would you got down with 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns. You could see the heads hanging.
Yeah.
I don't see that with this group. And like this past Friday night, you guys easily could have gave up, but you didn't.
Football's one of them things you never know what can happen.
That's right.
When the balls drop,
somebody could fumble and Eli could pick it up.
Yeah, exactly.
10 times a game. Yeah.
Balls drop. Them onside kicks. Take the other night, for example. The reason we didn't get down, you never know what can happen. It was 4th down, punted the ball, kid missed, we got it 20-yard line.
Yeah,
Bingo. Scored.
You never know what you get it score. You never know what's going to happen in a football game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Mark. That's funny you say that because I think y'all's bounce back this year is just a little better than it was last year.
Oh, absolutely.
And what I mean by that halftime score that Earl had, that would crush a bunch of teams out there emotionally, physically, mentally, everything. I mean, it's 4th down. You've held them just about the whole first half pretty well. You're within striking distance of them, and then they throw a last-second back of the end zone touchdown. It's like, oh. And then the 2-point. It's like you're going into the halftime. You guys came right back fighting and clawing and scored. And that's impressive. That's not easy to do at y'all's age because the mental part of it's just as important as the physical part of it. And I commend you guys for that.
Yeah, that ball game could have went anyway. No doubt about it.
It was a good scoring game for sure. But like I said, we've done the studies this week. We have studied DPC, and I think as a whole team, we're ready. I think we're ready to take it on because, like I said, we're definitely got some people doubting tonight. So I think it's time we prove them wrong again.
Shut them up.
There you go.
I like it.
We've done it before.
I like the confidence. I love the confidence. Gentlemen, thank you, guys. Y'all have anything you want to mention before you get off here? Say hi to anybody at home, anything?
No.
Just really appreciate what y'all's doing here for us. Just everything with the CSR and everything we've been doing, and we just love it.
Yep. Thank y'all.
Good luck, boys.
Well, I want to thank you guys.
Don't forget that essay, Eli.
For those that, real quick though, before we get off here, for those that don't know, these two have helped us out tremendously here at CSR. Ethan has done all kinds of stuff. Eli has done all kinds of stuff for us. Never asked for anything. They just said, what can we do to help? And they've always done it. They've saved my buns many times when I couldn't be there. Many junior high. I mean, there's a lot of junior high games I couldn't do. And these guys, these two right here was a big part of that.
Yeah, and he's hilarious. Listen to him.
They're great. I love both of them.
Rumored I might be on ESPN one day.
He probably will. He'll probably. These guys, hey, Bart, these two right here will probably have our job if they want it here in a few years. So
they can have it, but we can still help them.
We have to get used to running a camera.
We'll have to send him down to Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Coach
I love it.
Coach O.
Farmer friend there. East Kyoto. Love it. Again, Ethan Jordan, Eli Mason. Guys, you're watching Good Morning Corning live at KBKG Morning 9:05. We got to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back with Mr. Coach Bill Innis.
Red Taylor Ford, your family-owned and operated hometown dealer right here in Corning for over 45 years now. Any of your automotive needs, go by and see them, whether it's sales, maybe new or used, or parts or service. They've got you taken care of. You can see them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or Saturday, 7 to noon. A lot of friendly faces there, like David and Brent Taylor, Jim Clifton. Or you can call those fine folks at 870-857-3516. Find them on Facebook. Find them online, www.redtailorford.com. Proud sponsors of KBKG More Music 93.5 FM and of the Corning Bobcats. KBKG More Music 93.5 FM. Corning's hometown station. That's what you're listening to right now, and we appreciate you for tuning in. Hey guys, if you want to tune in every Friday night during football season, we'll have all the Corning Bobcat football games live on your radio waves right here. Also select basketball games, baseball, and softball games. That's right here, More Music 93.5. Also, we want to say thank you to Jim Atkins, owner-operator at KBKG, for all he does and for allowing us to do this radio show this morning, and Amanda Sutphin for all of her help, and Rob Barnett for all he does as well. Again, KBKG, More Music 93.5, Corning's hometown station. Go Cats, go. You're listening to Good Morning Corning, our new radio station here in our hometown of Corning, Arkansas, hosted by myself, Andy Earls, and co-hosted by Bart White and Mark Hufford, right here on KBKG, More Music 93.5. Look ahead to more of these radio shows, and your current show will be back on very shortly. Thanks for tuning in.
EPC's good, man.
Yes.
Red Taylor Ford, your family-owned and operated hometown dealer right here in Corning for over 45 years now. Any of your automotive needs, go by and see them, whether it's sales, maybe new or used, or parts or service. They've got you taken care of. You can see them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or Saturday, 7 to noon. A lot of friendly faces there, like David and Brent Taylor, Jim Clifton. Or you can call those fine folks at 870-857-3516. Find them on Facebook. Find them online, www.redtailorford.com. Proud sponsors of KBKG More Music 93.5 FM and of the Corning Bobcats. KBKG More Music 93.5 FM. Corning's hometown station. That's what you're listening to right now, and we appreciate you for tuning in. Hey guys, if you want to tune in every Friday night during football season, we'll have all the Corning Bobcat football games live on your radio waves right here. Also select basketball games, baseball, and softball games. That's right here, More Music 93.5. Also, we want to say thank you to Jim Atkins, owner-operator at KBKG, for all he does and for allowing us to do this radio show this morning, and Amanda Sutphin for all of her help, and Rob Barnett for all he does as well. Again, KBKG, More Music 93.5, Corning's hometown station. Go Cats, go. You're listening to Good Morning Corning, our new radio station here in our hometown of Corning, Arkansas, hosted by myself, Andy Earls, and co-hosted by Bart White and Mark Hufford, right here on KBKG, More Music 93.5. Look ahead to more of these radio shows, and your current show will be back on very shortly. Thanks for tuning in. Red Taylor Ford, your family-owned and operated hometown dealer right here in Corning for over 45 years now. Any of your automotive needs, go by and see them, whether it's sales, maybe new or used, or parts or service. They've got you taken care of. You can see them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or Saturday, 7 to noon.
And we're live here at KBKG More Music 93.5 FM, hometown station here, the headquarters, south side of 2nd Street here at the dead end here. I think it's Bryan Street, that's the intersection there. And we are live on location for Good Morning Courting episode number 3. I'm your host, Andy Earls. Alongside me, Mr. Bart White and Mark Hufford, my All-American co-host.
There we go. Finally recognized.
Giving them a little bit of love,
Finally.
Speaking of giving a little bit of love, got to get a little bit of love to the next man you're about to see on your screen, and that is Mr. Bill Innis, formerly Coach Innis. And, Mr. Innis, it's really, really good to have you here. Thank you for showing up, especially all the way from Jonesboro.
Well, it's my privilege to come up. And I didn't know I was going to be across from Bart White. But I was thinking just Andy Earls, one of my former students, but I'm glad to be here. Always glad to be back up to Corning.
That's awesome. For those that don't know who Bill Innis is, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing now, where you're from, and things of that nature.
Well, I grew up in Success, Arkansas, and went to school grades 1 through 8 at the Wing School of Success, and then at the 9th grade got to come over to the big school at Corning. And so after college, I spent 11 and a half years up at Fredericktown, Missouri, teaching and coaching, and decided we wanted to come back to Arkansas, and I come back in 1978 and worked with Coach Campbell and Don Sharp and Jerry Sharp and Bob Miller, and started out in football and track. When Coach Hicks retired, I took over the girls' basketball program. And I spent, after we got back, I spent 29 years here in the Corning system and retired. But the last 5 years, I transferred, the last 6 years of my tenure at Corning, I moved over to the elementary PE. And so I spent my last 6 years at Corning and had a very enjoyable 6 years of teaching physical education in the Corning school system. But we moved to Corning. We had one daughter there, and since we've been down there, our second daughter's moved. So both daughters are in Jonesboro, and we love living down there and being close to them.
Coach Innis, did you always want to be a coach, or what made you want to be a coach?
I really don't know, and that's an honest answer. I sort of got into it accidentally, I guess.
Yeah.
And,
I bet you're glad you did.
Well, yeah. I've told many people when I got into education, and I spent, guys, after I retired, I spent 11 and a half years in Fredericktown, Missouri. I spent 29 years here, so you count that up.
That's 40 and a half years.
So when I moved to Jonesboro, my daughter said, "Hey, Dad, Nettleton needs somebody over there to run their in-school suspension program." So I go over there,
and that, I guarantee you.
So I spent 12 years, maybe 13 years, at subbing, but it evolved more than in-school suspension.
Right.
Can you sub down there? Can you? Okay.
Get suckered in.
So I subbed from pre-K to 6th grade, but I only went to the high school one time.
Yeah.
What have you not done? It sounds like you've done everything.
Well, I don't know. When I got to Jonesboro and subbed at the Nettleton School District, it was a good experience for me because diversity of kids, and I made a lot of friends with faculty, and even made a lot of friends with a lot of the kids.
Yes, sir.
So it was a good experience, and but I've been out 3 years now from subbing.
Okay. Now we went back a little bit, but I want to know today what is Mr. Innis doing these days? How are you enjoying retirement?
Well, I stay pretty busy, actually. My son-in-law bought a farm over by Imboden.
Oh, no.
And we've been going over there and bush hogging, and we're going to make a hay farm out of it.
Mark or David?
Mark Haney. Yeah,
Mark Haney?
Mark Haney, yeah. And they like to deer hunt. I'm not a deer hunter, but we've been getting place ready for deer hunting, but we're hopefully we're going to have a hay crop one of these days.
Is that free labor?
Sort of.
But if he wants to go deer hunting, he can.
Sort of free labor. But,
If anybody else needs some work out there, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
but our
Hey,
kids
do you have Class A CDL license? I'm gonna need a driver next year.
well, I think I let it run. I think maybe when I got my last lesson, license, I think I might have let that go out.
Oh man.
But I drove school bus for a long time, and I thought I don't need to do
If he
that
can drive
anymore.
school bus, he can drive fertilizer truck.
I guarantee you can.
Hey, Mr. Innis, what all subjects did you teach at Corning?
At Corning, when I moved down here, I was a health teacher, and I helped Coach Campbell in the senior high football, and I was a senior high track coach. And then after 6 years of that, like I said, Doyle Hicks, he wanted to get out of the coaching, and I took over the girls, and I coached them for 8 years. And then in the early 90s, our first granddaughter came, and my daughter lived up in Ohio, and my wife and I decided that I was going to get out of coaching, and I got out of coaching after 14 years here at Corning. And my remaining school time at Corning was 7th grade life science and health, and that was it.
Now, you mentioned earlier you coached alongside Coach Don Campbell. Tell us a little bit about that time and your relationship also with Coach Campbell.
Well, I'd been up at Fredericktown, and I've never played football. Some people may not know that, but I coached.
You didn't have to tell us that. You could have just kept us.
I coached football at Fredericktown. I was in junior high, and I was also 1 year the freshman coach. But after thinking back my days up at Fredericktown, I wish I had known Coach Campbell before I got up there.
Yeah.
Because I would have ran 28 sweep. I guarantee you I would have run 28 sweep. But working with Coach Campbell and Don Sharp was a great experience for me. I learned a lot from them.
Tell us some memories about Coach Don and David Sharp that you remember.
Don Sharp and Coach Campbell.
No, David Sharp.
David Sharp?
Yeah.
Well, see, he played basketball, but Don Sharp, I can tell you a lot about Don Sharp, his dad. He was a defensive coordinator at Corning, and Don Campbell, being the offensive mind that he had a lot of sometimes trouble with some of the defensive things that we'd come up with, but because he knew how to beat it. He knew how to score it. But anyway, the combination of those two guys, and back in those days, I guess it was interesting, and Coach Campbell would stand before a group and think, well, I don't know how we're going to do anything with this bunch this year. But the boys had the mindset that they couldn't get beat. And
that goes a long way.
That goes a long ways.
Before Mark asked, whenever you got to Corning, did Coach Campbell kind of instill that in his assistant coaches too? That hey, we got to believe attitude. That hey, we're going to win attitude.
Well, I guess after being with him, we just thought it too.
Come natural, didn't it?
Come natural.
Hey, didn't Coach Don didn't he coach senior high boys basketball?
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
After Albert Brown became principal,
right.
Don Sharp was
I remember Kent played for him. Kent Dar, my cousin. Yeah.
Don coached the boys basketball, and I guess after he left that, Coach Sashley came up and took the basketball program.
Yep.
You mentioned Albert Brown there. Tell us about your memories of Albert Brown.
He liked to bird hunt, and he liked to fish, and but he was a heck of a basketball player back in his days of playing for Coach Mr. Kimbrell over at Turl, I guess. But
he's a pretty good-sized man.
Yeah,
Mr.
he's a
Brown
pretty good-sized man. But always enjoyed working with him.
Wasn't he was superintendent too at one time?
Yeah,
wasn't
he became superintendent. Yep. When Paul Stovall left, he was a legend here.
Yep.
Albert he was a principal after after he left. And I guess that's the reason I came, because they needed someone to take Albert was helping with football and besides basketball, and so when he left, Coach Stovall, I think, went to Walnut Ridge, and then I came down here, but I guess accidentally I got here.
Oh yeah.
My dad and I used to bird hunt, and back when we had a lot of birds, and one year at Christmas vacation, we ran into Mr. Kimbrell bird hunting. And I said something about, you got any openings? You know, I just conversation.
Yeah.
Well, before school was out that year, he come up. That's when Coach Brown was going to go to be the principal, and so that's the way I got here.
Wow.
Bird hunting.
Bird hunting. Use it at the right place at the right time.
You're right. And you happened to say the right thing. Yeah.
But back to something that was said a while ago. My wife and I have talked about this. We've been married 55 years, I guess.
Wow. Congratulations.
Over 50.
That's a long time.
Our girls were, I got to coach my girls in Corning. And they turned out to be good kids. They found them a good husband.
Yep. I agree with that.
My wife and I have been happy. And what more can you ask for in life?
There you go.
Amen to that.
There you go.
Amen to that. I totally agree. That's a good way to look at it, too. It really, really is. Back in your day, so you've been on the sidelines here for our Bobcat program on the football field, on the gridiron there. Back in your day, how big was the Corning-Pickett rivalry?
Oh, it's big because everybody knew we was going to beat Pickett.
Yes!
Confidence. Lack of confidence.
And, when we
I bet these Pickett people that watch this hate us because
No,
it's an every week deal.
Yeah.
when we would go to Pickett, and I guarantee before we got out of the city limits, we was going to get egged.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard of that, like in Pollard, that they would.
Yeah, somewhere before we got out of Pickett. I don't know. And I guess I can remember one game over Mark Stafford was a little old bitty guy, and you remember Mark Stafford?
Boy, he could kick the heck out of a field goal, buddy. He could kick the ball.
We beat Pickett, I guess, on a field goal.
Yeah, I remember that. Man, he could boot the ball.
Mark Stafford?
Yes.
I don't know. He may have weighed 100 pounds, but
yeah, he wasn't very big at all. But man, he had a leg on him.
Yeah,
kind of like Jesus.
Been a good soccer player, you're saying?
I'm sure.
I always ask this question because I hear about the Corning Walnut Ridge games back in, but in your mind, was Corning Walnut Ridge a bigger rivalry than Corning Pickett back then?
Walnut Ridge was a big, and I guess what the saying when we was going to play them was Crack Nut Hill.
Crack Nut Hill. Yeah.
And I can't remember that little chant that the guys
It was a teacher, I think, that had started it. It was what I heard. Paige Cat knows it really, really well. I can't remember her name now.
We sang some kind of little song.
Yes.
Wiggly, wiggly, wobbly, or
oh yeah,
like
we've got that on our YouTube channel. There's a chant. You guys have to pull. By the way, that's a good chance for us to mention this on our YouTube channel. If you go to playlist, you can do Bobcat Classics. That chant that Coach Innis is talking about is actually on there.
Good.
I wonder if you could hear it. Coach, bear with me a second.
Hey, there was one thing certain every time we played Walnut Ridge. The Bobcats were definitely going to win.
Yeah.
We just didn't know which one.
But we had some good games, man.
Yeah, we did.
We were good friends with their coaches.
I think I found it. I don't know how this is going to sound on the air, guys.
We'll try it, man.
Just bear with me. Maybe this will bring back some memories for you, though. We got to get to this darn ads, man.
Oh, I know,
always
man.
Ads. Here we go. Let's see if we can. This was at a some kind of meeting of some kind. Was you a part of this meeting? I think it was maybe in
That's
Cabot
Chris Campbell, ain't
or BB. It was Chris Campbell. I think a lot of people were there. I don't know if you were part of that or not, but let's see if they can get it going here so we can hear this chant that Coach Innis is talking about. Maybe our boys can come out to this. Come on. We're getting to it, I promise, guys. Here we go.
Yeah. Howdy, howdy, ho. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. That's the chant you're talking about right there. You can get that on our YouTube channel, by the way. Would y'all do that before every game?
Yeah, every game. I guess marching into the stadium, maybe singing it. Yeah. But I might comment. The first year I got here, some of the players we had was Gary Gilby. I never will forget Gary Gilby. And he was a heck of a player. Rio Morrow, Mr. I'm trying to think who was played by Mr. Pilla, but he was a classic up there in the press box. And but one of his classic sayings was, when Rio would run the ball, he'd say, "Rio Morrow."
I heard he was a good one, though.
It just echoed through the stadium.
Yeah, I heard he was definitely a good one. And he was there for a while, was he not? Mr. Pillow?
Yeah, I guess till he got health, couldn't do it any longer.
Coach Innis? Oh, go ahead.
Before, just real quick, I know you're about to ask a question. Chris Campbell said the Howdy Howdy Ho chant. Actually, Timmy Goodman came up with that, evidently.
Timmy Goodman.
I didn't know that.
He played before I got down here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Bart.
No, you're fine. What is probably your most favorite memory coaching at Corning?
Well, I had a lot of good memories with football, but when I was coaching basketball, we had the district tournament at Corning. Walnut Ridge ranked Paragould ranked number 2 in the state. Walnut Ridge ranked number 3 in the state. District tournament here at Corning. So we win our first game. I don't remember who it was, but we played Paragould, and we beat Paragould. I don't know how, but we beat them. I know I had Grace Cat. That
I was fixing to ask you if Grace was on there.
I had Grace Cat. But anyway, and then in the finals of the district tournament, we were playing Walnut Ridge, and at the end of regulation time, I had the York girls, Julie and Jamie York, and one of them shot the ball, and it went around and around and around in the rim, and then come out. Or we'd have won.
Oh, man.
But I had a lot of good memories with the football program, too.
Well, I mean, I think Mark was going to ask, but what was your best memory in football? Do you have a game that really stands out, that really sticks out above the rest?
I don't know. We, like we said, with Walnut Ridge, we had a lot of great games. With Highland, with some of our, we had good friends over there coaching over at John Katrosh, and but we just had a lot of great games. It's hard to pick out one.
What was the fan base like back then? Like what was the I don't know, the mood around town with football program and stuff? Obviously, that was kind of the heydays there. Some really good football back then. Was the support from the fan base a big deal back then?
Oh, we always had the fan base. But I can remember one year we played Mountain View in the playoffs. And I can't remember who had made this big C that was standing out in the stadium. And I believe Paul Moore hauled that thing over to Mountain View. It just is a big C.
Yeah.
Out of wood.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm thinking I got that right, but
man, I know you asked
that's
about
cool.
the fan base, man. When I was in high school from 7th grade on, basketball, football, you name it, the bleachers were always packed. I mean, all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, and it was the same way with us too. We were very, very fortunate. We had a really, really good following. So there was I gotta go back to that. I have to go back to that. So there's a big wooden C. How tall are we talking? How big?
Well, I think he got. I don't remember if he hauled that in the back of his truck or with a trailer. But
we ought to see if he still got it.
Seriously, let's.
Well, I doubt it. I don't know.
Or let's make one.
I don't know what happened to it.
Maybe Eli or Ethan Jordan can weld this one background glass. So is it like black and gold, or is it just a big wood?
Just a wooden C somewhere.
Yeah. That's awesome. He hauled it all the way to Mountain, which is not an easy drive, by the way.
I have to ask him next time I'm in here with him about that.
Yeah. Big wooden C. That's awesome. I love that. You had mentioned Paul Stovall. Obviously, was there before you. But did you know Paul Stovall very well? Did you have a good
He came my senior year in high school.
Okay.
And I didn't play football.
Sure.
But he got me out for track because he knew I was pretty scat. I could run.
Yeah.
So and I guess that I love track, and I don't know if you can't run, you can't play basketball, and you can't play football.
Sure.
But track is one of my favorite sports.
You should challenge him to a race.
I'm out. He'd blow me away. He's like a
Do you
white
still
blur.
run?
Well, I used to run.
I know you used to run all the time.
Well, when Don Sharp was here, we started the 6 o'clock Joggers Association.
Oh Lord.
We'd get up and meet at 6 o'clock every morning and run before school, and go home, take a shower, and then on Friday night, Coach Sharp would say, "Well, we're going to have a special." Well, we'd either go out to Corning Y or up State Line or somewhere and run back.
Wow.
But one day he said, after we hadn't been running very long, and he said, "We're going to go for Success and run back." So Dickie Walls asked Dickie Walls about it, and Jerry Sharp and Bob Miller and I don't know how many of us went over Success. We ran back to Corning one Saturday morning.
Holy smokes. Whose idea was this?
Don Sharp.
He wasn't very sharp, was he? My goodness.
Only his last name.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Who all was a part of that? Was it like all the coaching staff? Or
just anybody that wanted to run. But we had a pretty good group.
Really?
And we got to running 5Ks. And about that time, Corning Harvest Festival come in.
Yeah.
We started the Flat of the Pancake. It was a couple of years, and then we changed it over to Harvest Festival 5K.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you when he was a kid, I see him running all the time.
That's awesome, man.
They still do that 5K, don't they? The Harvest Festival.
I think so. Yeah. Do we want to start a morning a joggers association club?
Yeah, to the donut shop.
We'll start at the road and run to the door.
I guess one of the classic things about that was we all got new jogging shoes from Skeeter Kell.
Yeah.
Skeeter Kell.
And,
Were they out of Kennett?
Kennett, Missouri, I
Yep.
believe. Yeah.
You know, Don Sharp, he'd leading us, and one day we was running up by the cemetery, and we ran through the cemetery, and that was before part of it was it was just a field. So he run us through there in those new jogging shoes. Right through the
Didn't
mud.
Corning used to get most of their shoes and stuff from him?
Oh, yeah.
I know
we got,
Coach Shastley
we got
did.
most everything.
That's what I thought.
They may still do that.
Skeeter
I
Kell,
don't
man. I
know,
heard that name growing up.
Speaking of names, you're not the only gentleman with the last name Innis who has been involved with the football program. I looked back, and in 1925, a name E.P. Innis was a coach at Corning. I wanted to throw that name at you.
Well, I'm not. I can't. I can't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember.
Didn't know if you'd heard about that growing up, or obviously 1925. That's not you, but I'm just saying if you'd heard that name maybe growing up.
I've heard of it, but I'm not. Right now, I can't. I don't know what to say about it.
Gotcha. Okay. I had seen that in a.
Apparently, he wasn't kin to him.
Well, that's why I was hoping. I was hoping you'd heard a story passed down.
It
or
wasn't
something.
grandpa or my uncle or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah, because I'd seen that in an article that he was a coach in 1925, and we've been trying to fill the gaps. We're trying to write a book one day of Bobcat history, so I'm trying to fill those gaps of head coaches and some of the coaches. Speaking of, who are some of the coaches? You mentioned a few of them earlier. So you had Mr. Sharp, you had you. Who else was assistants back then?
Well, senior high is Coach Campbell and Coach Sharp and myself. Junior high is Bob Miller and Jerry Sharp.
Bob Miller, okay. I knew Jerry, but I didn't know Bob Miller. I'm going to write that one down too.
Jerry's a good baseball coach.
Do you remember what was this guy's name? Juddy
Linus.
Juddy Linus.
I was at the game when he got hurt. My wife and I, in fact, we talked about that. I guess one day this week with one of my daughters, we mentioned that ball game.
Do you remember exactly what happened on the play that he got hurt on, Coach Innis?
Just a head-on tackle.
Head-on.
And my wife, she was one mentioning it this week. We remember we could hear his mother come out of the stands screaming.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty sad deal.
I know reading his book, I think it was a punt, and he was on the punt coverage team. And like you said, a head-to-head, just a good pop, a good lick, according to everybody. It was just it was a different thud that you know. But yeah, evidently a sad ordeal. But do you recall back then the weeks after of the school or the football program raising money and stuff for him and his family?
Well, I guess I was out of school at that time, so I don't really remember that.
Okay.
That part.
Okay.
But I know Juddy went on and seemed like he taught. I guess he graduated from college, and he may have written a book.
He did.
But I think he was an English major or something along that line.
He did really well. He helped write some different scripts for some shows, some TV shows. He's got several books evidently, but the one of them I've been reading has been really good. I should have brought that so I could advertise that. I need to do that next Friday. But yeah, it's really cool to see a guy go through all that and then to not give up on being productive in life and doing what he did, going to the University of Arkansas.
Yeah, that's what Fred was saying. Yeah.
But I know he was a very intelligent person.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. Okay, you've coached a little bit of everything, or at least helped coach a little bit of everything. In your mind, what was the toughest, in girls, boys, what was the toughest sport for you to coach?
Well, coaching boys and girls is different.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
It's totally different, in my opinion.
So girls track was your toughest to coach? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
But it seemed like boys, they get irritated at each other, or maybe scuffle, and then it's over with. But I don't know. Sometimes
girls ain't like that. They hold grudges. I got 2 girls of my own. I mean, it's
you may
totally
be right
different.
there, Bart.
Totally different.
But I enjoyed it. I've got some special memories of coaching girls, and back to girls basketball. One person at Nettleton that I really made friends with was Jason Smith, very successful there at Nettleton, but he's at Greene County Tech now, and so he's.
What's Jason doing at Tech now?
He's a senior girls basketball.
Senior girls basketball. Okay. We've actually got some Corning alum that are over there. Chad Jordan is way up there. I know Mr. Stricker was there. Is he still? Is Ray Stricker still there? He is still there.
I wonder if he's still fast.
Okay, I guarantee he's still fast.
See, I was the reason that Coach Stricker came to Corning.
Really?
Because his dad was I worked with his dad at Fredericktown. That's where he raised from. Yeah.
I didn't know
that. He came to
that.
Corning in 91.
He came in 91?
91, my senior year, yep.
That's interesting. I never knew that. Well, so you coached in Fredericktown for a little while. I think you said 11 years.
11 years.
11 years. What was the biggest difference from coaching in Fredericktown, Missouri, to coaching in Corning, Arkansas?
Well, Fredericktown, I was in junior high. Junior high was 7th and 8th. 7th and 8th grade. But Fredericktown at one time was a big football school. But when I was there, the basketball was king. And, in fact, we went to state tournament one year and got beat in the finals. But it was big time. But anyway, it was a good school, and I enjoyed being up there. And
do you ever head back to Fredericktown for games?
Not very often.
Not very often, yeah.
I still have friends up there I stay in touch with.
The one thing I look forward to, talking about coming back, the one thing I look forward to every year, 4th of July, is getting to see, I work the ticket stand over there, and I always get to see Coach Innis come up, and it's always so good to see. And that's what I love about that picnic is we get a lot of people come back that, maybe don't live here anymore or whatever. And it's really, really neat getting to see you there every 4th of July. What was your memories of the 4th of July back in was it 78 you started? So what was the 4th of July back then, the picnic?
Well, let me say what it was when I was growing up.
Okay.
It was a big deal every year because that was the only thing going on. But we were used to mosquitoes, and we were used to not having AC, air conditioning.
And it being 100 degrees.
But it was just a big deal back. You hated to leave. You didn't want to leave the picnic.
Did they have a lot of rides back then when you were
goodness.
kids?
Well, one ride I remember is that little old whirl and twirl that stayed out there for years.
Yeah.
But and I guess gradually they got a few more bigger ones. But
like on Six Flags.
Yeah. Do you remember at any time them having, whether they gave rides or it was just there for looks, a big hot air balloon for the 4th of July picnic?
I don't remember that.
We seen that in an article the other day, and I don't know, it didn't say the year, and I couldn't find the year, but there was a big hot air balloon there for the 4th of July picnic. I don't know if they're like giving rides or something. I don't know.
I don't remember anything about a hot air balloon.
Okay. Didn't know if maybe you had some information on that for us or not.
But if I ever got in a hot air balloon, I'd want to have a rope attached
Exactly.
I
My wife's
it.
always that's her. She wants to ride hot air balloons. So we was coming back. I think we might have drove to Harrison.
Yeah.
Just for her to, but it was one of those with the rope. And I thought, man, that ain't no fun. I mean, if you're going to ride a hot air balloon, go. You know.
No, I think I'm out. I'm with Coach Innis on this one. I'm out on that.
My luck, it'd go California or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I probably wouldn't have to worry about it because I weigh so much. I probably passed the weight limit, and we're good. So it ain't getting up in the air anyways. We really do appreciate your time. Coming from Jonesboro, first of all, when I asked you that, you didn't even hesitate. You said yeah, and you pretty much what time, when and where, and that means a lot to me. Me personally, you were a big influence on me growing up. I always looked at you like a role model, honestly. I've always heard the stories growing up about you, Coach, and stuff like that, but you were really, really good to me, and you held me accountable at an age where, I needed that. I really did. I know we talked a lot about your coaching stuff, but your teaching, I want to say thank you for that. And I joked earlier about, I remember I think my grade was suffering in there or something. I did something wrong, and of course you'd mention it to Dad, and man, Dad lit me up. I'm like, son of a gun, why couldn't he keep that to himself, But I'm glad you did, though. I really am, and I'm glad that like I said, you held me accountable, and I feel like I'm a better person today because of you. And I feel like a lot of people probably feel the same way.
Well, even though he got on to me a lot,
we can't imagine.
I've always had the utmost respect for Coach Innis. I mean, I've been around him all my life. Went to church with him. I was at all the basketball games. I mean, I've known him since I was a little kid, and you can't beat him. You can't beat Coach Innis.
Well, I appreciate that from all of you, and I hadn't really got to know you, but I'm glad to be here today. But your family was a great part of my life. Well, anyway, your Aunt Sheila and my wife are first cousins.
Yep.
So we had a connection through that family, and then Andy, both of you, I appreciate you guys and the things that you're doing now out at Farm Service, and I'm so glad that you got that.
Thank you.
You got that.
I
And
appreciate
Andy,
it.
I'm so proud of you being up there in Poplar Bluff selling all those vehicles and doing what you're doing for Corning. I'm a homebody.
Yeah.
And Corning is my home, even though.
Yeah.
Do you tune in to us on Friday nights?
Well, I don't guess I can get you down there, but
Yeah. All you do is get on your computer or your phone, go to YouTube, and type in Corning Sports.
I'm a little bit like Coach Walls over there.
Oh, God, here we go.
I'm not really.
Here we go.
Technological.
Well, get one of your kids over there to get you set up where you can watch us.
Did you stop in on the way in and maybe knock on a window?
No, I know he's in bed.
Hey, this ain't no joke. That day we had him here, as soon as he left, I left right behind him, and he said, "Oh, he forgot his shirt." I literally got in my truck, pulled in, and he was already back in his pajamas. No joke. He had a white V-neck T-shirt with the sleeves cut out and pajama pants.
That is awesome. I love it.
I love Coach Walls.
Yeah, he's a good one, that's for sure.
He is. He definitely is. We all definitely respect him, just like we respect you. Do you have any last things that you want to mention before you get off here?
Well, I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, we did too.
I enjoyed listening to two high school boys, and it's just again, I'm a homebody. I love coming up here for whatever. For years, I came to Mr. Richardson, Richard Richardson, dentist, and he's gone.
He's gone now too.
I'm lost.
That's where my wife knows you from there. She worked there right before he closed. Nicole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She used to play basketball at Delaplane.
Yeah, I remember talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coach Ince, do you have an iPad or a tablet?
My wife does.
Well,
I'm going to get a hold of one of your daughters.
Yeah.
And have
a
them.
smart TV. If he's got a smart TV.
Yeah, you got a smart TV?
Like a new.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a hold of one of your daughters and have them come over there and get you on the game so you can watch us on Friday nights.
Yeah. You get to listen to this knuckle. Believe it or not, he's a color analyst. Will you believe that? Bart, I know that's what I said too.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
I enjoy it.
But I tell you, my grandsons played at Nettleton, and since they've graduated from high school, both of them are out of college now. I just sort of got out of the loop of listening to high school. I go to all ASU games.
There you go.
Are you going Saturday?
I doubt if we go.
I think me and Jeff Page, I may go with him. He's got season tickets.
Jeff Page.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
He works for me out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tell old Jeff.
Yep,
I
I sure will. He's probably watching right now, but
Okay.
I sure will. I'll see him here in just a few minutes.
Okay. Hopefully he's doing his job.
Yeah, he is.
Hopefully somebody is. He's not there. So
No,
yeah.
I honestly, I got a great crew of guys. I do, man. I got a great crew. I mean, they get stuff handled if I'm not there. They know what to do. They know.
How does that feel? Because I don't have the same feelings. Aren't mutual. I'm kidding.
Mark,
Love. I feel love.
oh man, I'm getting a headache. I don't know if I'll be there tonight.
Oh, we sure do appreciate you. We really do. Rob and Cindy Burnett was on. Monica Lynn was on. Amy Jordan was on. Jerry, several people on tuning in to see Coach Innis here. So thank you guys for tuning in with us. We are going to go, I think, commercial break real quick, then we'll come back and we'll end this.
Okay.
Guys, you're listening to Good Morning Corning live on KBKG. More Music 93.5. We'll be right back.
Red Taylor Ford, your family-owned and operated hometown dealer right here in Corning for over 45 years now. Any of your automotive needs, go by and see them, whether it's sales, maybe new or used, or parts or service. They've got you taken care of. You can see them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., or Saturday, 7 to noon. A lot of friendly faces there, like David and Brent Taylor, Jim Clifton. Or you can call those fine folks at 870-857-3516. Find them on Facebook. Find them online, www.redtaylorford.com. Proud sponsors of KBKG More Music 93.5 FM and of the Corning Bobcats. KBKG More Music 93.5 FM. Corning's hometown station. That's what you're listening to right now, and we appreciate you for tuning in. Hey guys, if you want to tune in every Friday night during football season, we'll have all the Corning Bobcat football games live on your radio waves right here. Also select basketball games, baseball, and softball games. That's right here, More Music 93.5. Also, we want to say thank you to Jim Atkins, owner-operator at KBKG, for all he does and for allowing us to do this radio show this morning, and Amanda Sutphin for all of her help, and Rob Barnett for all he does as well. Again, KBKG, More Music 93.5, Corning's hometown station. Go Cats, go. You're listening to Good Morning Corning, our new radio station here in our hometown of Corning, Arkansas, hosted by myself, Andy Earls, and co-hosted by Bart White and Mark Hufford, right here on KBKG, More Music 93.5. Look ahead to more of these radio shows, and your current show will be back on very shortly. Thanks for tuning in.
CDLs?
Almost. We're back here live. Good Morning Corning live on KBKG More Music 93.5. Andy Earls here alongside me, Bart White, Mark Hufford.
All Americans.
All Americans. All American
American
crew, baby. I love it. Actually, if it was Bart here, it would be B-A-M, BAM.
Bam.
Yeah, I like it. BAM, coming to you live.
There we go.
We're going to have to change seating.
With the change seating.
We can still do it. We can go this way.
I'm not comfortable between both of y'all because I can make fun of Mark right now and he can't reach me. See, I like that. I like that.
Bart will take care of it for me.
You just tell me when. I'll do the Ric Flair chop.
Woo! Handle the light work. Hey, I want to thank these guys. I want to thank Fred Martin for being here today. He was our very first interviewee. The Pee Wee football guys, James Varvel and Chris Cox, thought they did a really good job too.
Yes.
And then the youngsters, man, Eli Mason, Ethan Jordan, looking good and sounding good. They did a great job.
No nerves whatsoever on them boys.
But they've been with you and CSR. They've been doing this for a while, so it's nothing new to them. And then, of course, Coach Bill Innis was here with us too. Hey, next week, we're going to talk a little bit about the football game tonight, but next week, just a heads up, we'll come to you live at 7:30. I don't have that slot filled yet, and I'm going to fill that slot for 7:30. But at 8 a.m., we're going to have David Wilson. He's from the class of 81, I believe. And the reason we have him on is because it's Corning's 150th birthday next year, and David Wilson just wrote a book about the history of Corning. And it's on Amazon. You can find it there, so it's really, really neat. It's called I Grew Up in a Small Town. If you get a chance to look at it on Amazon. I've already bought mine. I've read the sports chapter, which is really good.
Really?
Really, really good. So if you guys get a chance on Amazon.
We'll just borrow yours when you're done with it.
Well, I think it's what I'm going to do.
One.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it to the public library so I can kind of give it out too. And then we're going to have 2 senior football players that Mark Hufford's going to be gracious enough to help us with that.
Yeah, we've been fortunate enough that Mr. Hampton has really worked with us on allowing us to pick, choose, and pull them out of class and get them here. So,
who you got in mind for next week?
Thank you, Mr. Hampton.
I think I'm going to go with Jackson Davis and Grady Pennington.
I like it.
Good. I like both
like
them boys. I like all them boys, man.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, all them kids have been great since Ethan lost his dad.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And we didn't mention that earlier, obviously, with him. But
I tell you what, man, that is a good group of kids.
It really is.
I got utmost respect for all of them.
Close, tight-knit bond. We talked about Mark and the boot camp boys. I think that had a lot to do with it. And then we're going to have, you heard him mention it today, Fred Martin and Bill Innis, we're going to have Don Sharp on with us. Now, Don Sharp will not be able to be here, I don't think. It's going to be a phone interview, so we're going to test that out with David Wilson as well. David Wilson, I think, lives in Springdale, I think. So
okay,
we're going to test out the phone interview stuff next week, so that'll be interesting. And we got a 7:30 slot, and I'm trying to debate. So we're trying to get some kids in. We're trying to get some older generation in. I kind of like that class of '93 thing we did with a certain class. I wouldn't mind doing that at 7:30, so I may start speaking out. I know class of '87 has already said that they want to be here. We may.
Maybe before the season's up, we might get Trevor Broadus in here.
Well, the other assistants. So our next one after that, I want Kyle George and Trevor Broadus both if we can. Because we already got Connor, we got Coach Shelton, we got Coach Poe. So we're going to go through them. And then before basketball, we're going to get basketball coaches. And we got some new faces there too, so get them in here and stuff as well. So now let's talk about tonight's game, though. We got the Bobcats, our beloved Bobcats, traveling to EPC to Lepanto, Arkansas. East Poinsett County, the final non-conference game of the season. And, guys, just to tell you, and I think we mentioned this in our group chat, Mark, but on film, I don't think there's been a better team that we've played yet, a more complete team. I think EPC is the most complete team that we have played up to this point.
I know there has been a lot of film study since last Friday for this upcoming game. I don't get information from Timothy. I have to force it out of him.
I can't imagine that.
But I make him come home and tell me, and they are doing a lot of studying, getting prepared. And I really like you heard Ethan and Eli talk about 7 o'clock on Saturday morning, going and watching game film. Well, they do that. Then Coach had the linemen over to his house to watch a football game.
That. Yeah.
So, that brotherhood they're building, studying film, I think we may be surprised tonight.
I think so, too. I really do. I know EPC is probably heavily favored. I know that. And that's fine. That's okay.
Hey, any team can be beat.
Amen. And listen, I'm going to tell you something. EPC, very good ball club and well coached. Coach Brennan Powell is a good friend of mine. He does a great job. Really does. He's a great coach there, and they've got the talent. But what I saw last week was a team that was resilient, that won the battle in the trenches, and if it wasn't for 2 plays, in my opinion, that's a completely different game against a very athletic. Matter of fact, the formations, the scheme and stuff that you've seen from Earl, it's what you're going to see tonight.
Right.
This team does it. They spread you out to run, though.
Didn't you say they had a little better running back?
Let's talk about the stud.
Okay, so let's talk. There's going to be a name. You're going to hear Bart call a lot tonight. You're going to hear Mark yell at a lot tonight, probably from the stands. And that name is Dennis Gaines. Now, he's number 24 on your roster, unless they do like the Earl team did, and their complete roster is different. Get to that a different
Dennis
day.
Gaines.
Anyways, Dennis Gaines. Yes, Dennis Gaines. So let me tell you a little bit about Dennis Gaines, guys. So for those watching, get to know your opponent here. Dennis Gaines has, in 2 games, 515 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns. 515 yards rushing. That is second in the entire state. And by the way,
is he a senior?
No,
he's a junior.
Just a junior.
Gets that. The majority of the teams in the state have had 3 games. His average per game, I believe it was 275 or whatever that would come out to, is actually number 1 in the entire state. He's averaging about 25 carries a game, and he's averaging about pretty close to 10 yards a carry.
That's a lot of first downs.
He's 2-time All-Conference, so he started as a freshman. Think about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's his 3rd year start. And not only that, but he's their middle linebacker, leads the team in tackles.
So we got to shut him down.
We got to shut this kid. He's got over, I thought it was 1,500. It's over 2,300 career rushing yards already.
Since 9th grade.
Wow.
And he's a junior.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Well, that's just 2 years.
He's the real deal. He's
cow.
the real deal, McCoy. That offensive line's a lot better than what we saw last week, too, in my opinion.
How big is the kid?
My opinion. I don't have numbers on. I'd say he's probably 5'11", 190, 200 maybe maybe, but
He's
he's
solid.
But listen, he sheds tackles. I mean, he's a good kid. You'll see their quarterback, Carter Smith, who 4.840 speed. He was all conference last year. He's 16 of 24 passing for 212 yards and a touchdown. So he's very efficient. Now, the reason why, though, they've only taken 2 shots downfield all year. It's all been quick bubble screen pass, a quick slant, a pass to the running back here. So they're very careful with that. And what's hurt us, in my opinion, on defense is sometimes these at Portageville, sometimes at Earl, is these receivers getting behind our secondary. Right. And they haven't done that as much. EPC hasn't. And in my opinion, I don't think Coach Powell's going to come this game and say, you know what, we're going to throw it deep and take chances. He's going to stick to freaking number 24, Dennis Gaines, and
we're going to have to wrap him up.
And we're going to have to
hang
wrap
on to him.
Bingo.
That's been another one of our problems that I've noticed.
Yes.
Not getting open field tackles. Yep. We're going to have to stop him.
One more name that you'll probably hear tonight, Cooper Argo, number 5. You probably heard him last year a little bit. Had a really good sophomore campaign. 4.840 speed. He's done everything for him. He's their Swiss Army knife, you could say. He's thrown passes. He's ran the ball for almost 200 yards this year. He's caught 4 catches for almost 100 yards and a touchdown. He's everywhere, and he's kind of that. That third down, they're kind of looking for him. If Gaines isn't, if it's 3rd and long, they're looking for him. And then they've got one more name I want to mention. Just get this out there. Omar McCustian. Good luck pronouncing that tonight. He's a 2-year starter, really good speed, but about him that's really separates from any other team that we played. This kid, they've thrown 3 passes to him all year. All 3 of them have been lobs for about 30 yards.
He's caught them all.
He's just high-pointed them. I mean, it's amazing. The kid's probably a great basketball player. So if they get in a position where they need something down the red zone or they feel like they need something a little bit deeper, they're just going to throw it up to him. And the kid's done it so far, and he looks really good. So
sound like we got our work cut out for us.
We do. But last week I love what I saw those kids fight back. I think the trenches, is going to be key tonight. You mentioned tackling. You mentioned open field tackling will be huge tonight.
Yes. It's
going to be huge because you get Gaines at that second level, those linebackers are going to have to get him down. Because if he gets to this way, if halftime, if our safeties and our D-backs are leading the team in tackles, it's not a good sign.
Yeah, right.
It's not a good sign. I promise you it's not. And this kid, he's taken off for 60-yard gains, for 70-yard gains. He's explosive. So we've got our hands full there. Lane Durlam says, ready for tonight. Gene Ray's saying hello. Hello, Gene. We will go live 6:30 probably, something like that. Kickoff at 7. I know you're going to be there, and I know you better be there.
I'll be there.
We're hoping that we'll be able to set up in the press box there. We're not sure yet. I got to get up there pretty early to find out. But we'll figure all that out.
Just text me when you know and let me know.
I will. I'd rather. It'd make more sense. I ain't got to get those satellite dishes out and shoot internet across.
Right.
So.
Which I tell you what, I had a good time in the bleachers last year at Harrisburg.
Yeah,
I did.
That was fun.
Especially when you handed me the megaphone.
I should have never done that.
Do you remember that?
I sat right in front of that.
I said, give me that megaphone. Well, I yelled something out. He goes, dude. I'm like, what'd you think I was going to do with it?
I should have known better. I really should have known
I
better.
thought it was a toy. It looked like one of those kid mega. I really didn't think it was going to work when I turned it on.
I bet you didn't. So, anyways, I'll never do that again. Lesson learned. Real quick, too. You're going to have Rich Martin with you tonight.
Yes.
So, for those that are tuning in, give Rich and Bart a little love.
He's actually riding with us, so
is he?
We'll both
awesome.
be there.
Okay, good. Y'all give them a little love.
You're going to be in trouble if we have car trouble, though.
You have bad trouble. Mark, you're going to have to step in then, probably.
Oh, Huff Daddy.
He does a great job.
I hope Jeremy Woods
y'all did
there.
a good job.
Actually,
Jeremy Woods will be there.
Jeremy said that if we needed help. So I think what we're doing now is home games, Jeremy and Bart, and then for away games, Rich and Bart until I can get back. And
you got to come back for the Rice Bowl.
I will. I promise I will.
Maybe all 3 of us.
And we can do that. Heck, we could probably put Mark. We can have 4 if we need to. But we may do that.
Nobody get any words in.
Yeah.
Hey, natural grass field tonight.
Natural grass.
That'll help.
Yeah, natural grass field. There's a lot of turf we've been having.
Yeah, games won't be as fast.
Yeah.
You said he was averaging 10 yards a run.
Yes.
10 points.
We're going to have to rename him First Down.
That's a lot of first downs.
Yeah, that's wild.
Just first down. That's
well,
him.
It's one thing if you've only had 5 carries.
I'm not going to say that's another EPC first down. I'm not saying that every time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it at all.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to say it at all tonight. I think our defense is going to be big.
I
sure
hope,
hope,
man.
I sure hope. But here's the good thing. This is non-conference. And here's what I like about this. Every team we played, our typical best 3 teams in conference, Manila last year. But aside from Manila last year, you take Osceola, Hoxie, and Walnut Ridge. You look at their offensive scheme and their style, that's all we've played these non-conference games. That's awesome because now we're prepared.
I know we want to focus on this week, but our first conference game, how good is Osceola this year?
Osceola is hard to predict, and here's why. So they have played nothing but teams out of their league. They have been playing 4A, 5A teams. They played Newport really good. Some people are saying Newport's down this year, but I think they're going to be good. Obviously, since Coach Hooks has left, man, they have just – Coach Hooks had them on a trajectory, man, and just kept it up there for a while. And then when he left, it just kind of – they haven't been bad.
Right.
They just not been Osceola. You know what I mean?
Right. We will be in the booth there, right?
Yes.
We have our own booth.
They have their own away booth there.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and it's a good ways up there. So, but yes, we will. And Osceola, I think tonight they play. No, they're off this week. They're actually 0-4, believe it or not. I've got a graphic that we're going to put up. I don't know if I can put it up right now, real quick. I might be able to. No, I never.
Yeah, that would be a great way to kick off.
Oh,
Conference
yeah,
play if we
absolutely.
beat Osceola.
Oh, it'd be huge.
What would really be good is to win the night, then going into Osceola.
A lot of confidence because, again, the offense you're going to see at Osceola is the same offense you're going to see here tonight. Now, Osceola may air it out a little bit more than this team tonight, but, the Portageville, the Earls that we've seen, we've already seen this.
Right.
And we're used to it. Manila, in my opinion, is down. They haven't really played anybody that's in our –
They lost a lot of seniors.
Yeah.
A lot.
They haven't really played – they've been playing tougher teams too, so it's really hard to say. Piggott looks like they're a little bit down this year. Palestine, Wheatley, bless their heart. We don't even know if we're going to play them.
Right.
Really?
They're going to miss.
Is that here or there?
They're off this week, but they're going to. It's here. They're going to miss next week, the week after, and possibly the week after with the shortage of players, the injuries. So we don't. I mean, who knows? Walnut Ridge is the wild card to me.
Right.
I could see them winning the darn conference, and I can see them finishing fourth. It's just. They've got the players. I don't know if they can put it together. And they played EPC last week really well. That's a really good game.
Yeah.
EPC came on top. But Hoxie this week, we'll know a lot more about Hoxie too. I think they have struggled a little more than people would realize early on, but they've been playing tough competition too. They've got Melbourne tonight, and Coach Stu Smith in Melbourne is really, really good. They may sneak up and win that 3-2A this year, or 2-3A. Sorry.
Right.
So Hoxie's interesting because you really can't gauge. But here's what's interesting to me. We may have all 7 Conference 3A3 teams at 500 or below going into conference. If Hoxie loses tonight and Walnut Ridge plays Salem, and Salem's pretty good, it's possible that we have all teams that are either 500 and below going in. And I don't know that's ever happened.
Right.
I can't remember.
Not with Hoxie yet. I know it hadn't.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so – that's interesting to me. So is it a down year? I don't know. Maybe the teams that they're playing. Look, Hoxie's really playing some tough teams. Manila's playing some tough teams. Osceola's playing some really tough teams. I mean, heck, even Piggott's played some 4A schools, So maybe that's the reason why. But maybe the conference is down a little bit. I don't know. We shall see. Charlotte Smith on with us. Several people here. You guys have anything y'all want to mention before we?
Yes, looking to the future. If this 7th grade team keeps up like they I've only seen one game.
Yeah.
But if they keep improving and they all stick together, which I talked to one of the dads last night, and he said, man, what's good about this boys' team, 7th grade, they're all best friends.
That's good.
And, I mean, that goes a long ways. But, man, I'm looking forward to seeing them when they get a little older.
Yeah, I believe that the thing that Miss Brittany's doing with them on Thursday mornings, I had Nicole look up, they posted a picture, and I believe there was 11 kids off, and that's the football players.
Yep.
11 kids that are off of that team. And there was a few more that couldn't make it, but you get that bond started that early.
Yep.
We listened to the class of Jeremy and Jim and them.
Yep.
They were talking about trust. You knew they had your back.
Yep.
I think you're going to see the same thing this 7th grade.
And the thing about it is, that all started with Pee Wee football.
Oh, yeah.
It helps. Man,
it does,
it
man.
helps
I mean, I know we've told them guys, but, man, I appreciate what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No, it's not. People don't realize how much time they put in.
Yeah.
I coach Pee Wee basketball, which it's not as time-consuming as the football, but I put a lot of time in. And, I mean, I enjoyed it. But there's a lot more to it than just
people realize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I commend everybody that coaches Pee Wee sports.
You mentioned 7th grade. They haven't lost a game yet?
No, they're undefeated.
4-0.
4-0.
Wow.
4-0.
Wow. That's something to look forward to.
They only played. They did a 25-minute period. All they played last night, and I think they won 30-6.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Piggott scored there at the end. So
wow.
I mean,
well, and if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong, but the current juniors and sophomores, they were pretty salty in junior high too, weren't they?
Yep, I believe so.
especially
6-3
your sophomores this year. Last year on junior high team, were phenomenal.
We've got some great sophomores.
Yeah, we do.
Both the Cox boys. And, I mean, I don't know them all, but we got some good sophomores.
I think it sounds crazy, but you might end up seeing. Of course, we can't predict move-ins and stuff, and it seemed like Hoxie always and Osceola seems like. But it seemed like you might be seeing almost a changing of the guard here, maybe starting this year and a few years moving, because those junior high teams for Hoxie and Osceola, they weren't near as usually as.
They already had people in the back to come up.
Yeah. They weren't near as dominant, I guess is the right word, as they normally are in junior high. Because I know we definitely played with them and definitely beat them as well. And I know Walnut Ridge, Palestine, Wheatley. So maybe starting this year and next, you'll start seeing a little bit of a shift.
Hey, junior high team looked good last night.
That's good.
Very good.
That's a good bounce back.
Kids. They got some fast kids on that team.
That's good.
We talking about that sophomore class that we got now. I got to go and film them playing Hoxie last year. Now, you talk about a game.
Yeah.
I mean, up in the booth, you had me and Eli and Ethan and Timothy.
Yeah.
We were rocking up there. I mean, it was going.
That was a good stream. It really was. And I'm going to tell you, I'm excited about the conference season. I really am. I did call AAA. 5 teams do make it to the playoffs. Oh, and I even got the brackets. They just, by the way, go to AAA's website if you want to see the playoff brackets. They just printed them just the other day. For the first time in my opinion, a while, your 3 and 4 seeds out of Conference 3A, I think, have favorable matchups, possibly, depending on how it plays out.
Right.
Before, if you finished 3rd or 4th, it seemed like you were getting McGee or the Rise of McGee, whoever finished 2nd in that one. And this year, that's not the case. I don't know how they do this. I don't know how this cycles. But this year, it's so much more favorable. I could see, even if we are down this year, I could see us winning 3, maybe 4 in the first round of the playoffs. I really could. And I don't think that's ever been something that I've looked at and said, man, this is the first I've ever looked at those brackets and thought, now hang on a second here. This looks more favorable than it ever has.
And
that's good.
Did I see that you had one bye?
Yeah, and that's for which this printed off so goofy. Y'all can tell from here.
I was wondering.
I'm trying to figure out which. I'm trying to figure out which. I think it was 6-3A. Yes, 6-3A has a bye. I don't remember who's in 6-3A and who's the favorite there, but 6-3A has the bye this year, and that'll be very beneficial to them. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's the Rising conference. It is Rising, Camden, Harmony Grove, Fordyce, teams like that. Probably Rising, if I had to guess, they're going to get a bye. But it's favorable for the first time in a while. Now you don't want to get that. You don't want to get that 5 seed or that 6 seed. You're going to either be playing, I'd say, Newport or Melbourne, which Melbourne's really good.
I heard they were.
Melbourne, Stu Smith's got them playing. And I think the other one was the next game against Rising. I assume it'll be Rising. But yeah, if you finish 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got a really good chance.
Yeah.
In my opinion. We don't know how things will shake out. But
right.
Very interesting. Blake Calhoun says, I think 3A3 is wide open this year. I agree, Blake. I really do. For the first time in a while. Louis Wright says the 7th grade boys are awesome in football, basketball, and baseball. They are a joy to watch. Well,
they were fun to watch last night for sure. I'm glad I went.
Appreciate you for Ms. Wright for your comments today.
And it's always good leaving Pickett with 2 wins.
Oh, I don't care what.
I had to rag my buddy Scott Dodd after the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, listen, for Scott though, he's got to get started, got to get his foot in there, and move on. And I understand that. So
I'm proud of him.
Yeah, me too.
He's a fine young man.
Proud of Connor Daniels. Connor came from there. Coach Radcliffe came from there. So yeah, we're thankful just that they give him an opportunity and they're able to come back home.
Maybe we can get him over here sometime.
Hey, hopefully so. Hopefully so. You fellas have anything here before we?
I've enjoyed it, guys. Again, I've enjoyed it. I look forward to tonight. Everybody be safe going to EPC tonight. And like I said, we enjoy everybody tuning in. But if you can go.
Yeah. Hey, I want to mention it now. Let's just get it out of the way. If you're a fan of Corny tonight, please don't show out. Last week at this very, very field, had a big incident that made statewide news. Actually, it made some national news outlets. Please don't show out. It's one thing to be passionate about your team, to be upset at a call. Look, the referees aren't perfect. I get it.
It don't accomplish anything, Andy.
It really doesn't. Sometimes you see a call and you're like, man, that was obvious, and maybe it was, but man, they're not perfect. But you're right. It doesn't accomplish anything. That's a bad look last week for the fans there that were involved. It's a bad look. And I think what's going to happen, and JR, we probably heard in the group chat, JR Roark, I mentioned it, what's probably going to happen, these places that have these bleachers or these sections behind the end zones in Arkansas, they're probably going to have to start enforcing the rules. You know, you're supposed to have a fence there.
What even happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just shouldn't have any spectators on the field at all.
No, they shouldn't.
So what's going to happen is stuff like that's going to keep happening. They're going to put a fence over there on that too, or they're going to start moving people. Or here's what's even worse that might start happening. Officials are going to say, you know what? When the assigner calls them, no, I'm not going to Lepanto. No, I'm not going here. I'm not going there. And then you're not going to have football games.
Yeah. Right.
So let's act right. Let's act professional.
That's about like Andy down there in the end zone with the camera at Harrisburg.
I'll never forget that.
I won't either.
I had it, and I was just trying to get his attention to look at it, and he wasn't having it. And he actually, the second time, said something to the fact, if you keep that up, I'm throwing you out of here. And but I had proof. That Slade.
I got it on camera.
He was out of bounds.
He was. I seen it from 3 miles away.
But anyways, stuff like that, obviously you want to be professional. And,
I was actually over at Cross County Stadium watching a football game. I seen it that far.
That really swayed the momentum. That was right before halftime. We talked about the Earl game. Very similar. Is
that the game Clay got hurt?
It is. Yes, it is. Yep, sure is. Yep, I'll never forget that. But yeah, so let's just try to act. I mean, it's one thing to be passionate.
I mean, if you want to look at your person sitting next to you and gripe about it, that's fine.
Sure.
Don't go down on the field.
Yeah, don't do that. And I think they've got a fence on the sideline. Well, I don't know. They may not at EPC. Do they?
Man,
it's not very long.
Okay.
It's a short fence.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get right around it. It's not.
Okay, gotcha. So, so don't
get on the field
tonight.
They may have it roped off.
Well, that's true. It may be a different animal. And it'll be. You know what? That's interesting. That'll be really interesting when I get there to see if that end zone if anything's changed there or not. I don't think AAA has actually made a public statement about it that I'm aware of. I called Steve Roberts this week about something totally different, and they were at some kind of week-long meeting, so they probably haven't, if I had to guess. But
right.
Lane Darlston, hope it's a good game. Amen, buddy. We do too. Guys, for Mark Hufford.
Yeah, before we get off, I got to say something.
Okay.
I want to apologize to everybody that's listening and going to be watching next week. I will not be here.
Oh.
So the show won't be the same.
It will not.
So if you have any complaints, send them to Andy Earls.
Thanks, Mark. Way to park
there.
Hey,
without him here, we'll get to talk more.
That's right, baby. Who's going to keep us in line,
We're going to miss you, man.
Yeah, seriously, because when we get a little off kilter,
maybe we can find somebody to join us.
Paige Cat said she would, so I'm gonna hold her to it. Miss Cat,
Paige,
keep them in line.
That's right.
You can't do all the talking though.
That's right. For Mark Hufford, Bart White, Andy Earls, everyone here at CSR, everybody at KBKG.
See you tonight.
God bless you. We'll see you tonight.
Go Cat.